Let's see, I think we are live. Starting. All right. Whoa, turn that down a little bit. Alright. This is not working the way. Let me just. What if we do that? Alright, cut that. How about I do this? All right, little Smashing Pumpkins to get the Saturday going. I'm still getting the chat going here, so give me a second to get this working. Got a lot of technology. Some of it doesn't always work the way I want it to. Well, maybe I can pop over to my phone app. That might be more useful. Let's see. My channel. I'm just trying to get the chat. Here we go. There we go. Let's mute that for a second. This iPad is not working. All right, well, we'll just do this. We'll do this. Hey, everybody. All right. Yeah, we got a little revolver. I took your requests in. Right now we're listening to Siamese Dream, Smashing Pumpkins, and that was requested by James P.W. So thanks, guys, for participating in my request line. I really appreciate it. I grabbed maybe too many records. I'm probably not going to get through all of them, but oh well. You know, David, I really need to pick up Gish. I haven't really dived into it as much as I should. I should make a video about the Rolling Stones album Sticky Fingers. You know, that was actually one of the first videos I did in the new vinyl pad setup, and I think that was in 2012. So it's maybe, yeah. It's not the best video. I should probably revisit it at some point, but I mean, it's on the channel if you want to check it out. Have I listened to Egypt Station by Paul McCartney? I haven't, but I heard one song by Paul McCartney and it kind of turned me off. I can't exactly remember what it was about it, but I just felt like we have other bands that are making that kind of music. We don't need Paul McCartney to make that. But I'll give it a shot, though. I should definitely check it out. He's been all over the web right now, talking about masturbation and answering questions people always had about the Beatles. Do I have any Woven Hand records? I don't. Best Paul McCartney album. You know, I really like his debut, McCartney. Yeah, I don't have any Soundgarden, David, but I did bring Paranoid. I can't remember, did you? No, Josh, or John. Oh, I guess maybe, no, that was John. Have I listened to this? Oh, you know, I haven't yet. I should listen to the older St. Vincent albums. Thank you, I keep forgetting. Band on the Run. Band on the Run is good. Yeah, I guess I always think of that as Wings, but I guess it's not. That's a Paul McCartney record too. Hey, Kid Muffin. Thank you very much, man. Was the song Come On To Me? I don't remember, Christian, the name of the McCartney song. Favorite Queen and Beatles album. You know, Beatles-wise, White Album. Queen, I don't know. I don't know. For now, I'm just gonna say A Night at the Opera, but I did pull out Queen 2, so we're gonna listen to that later. That may change my mind though. It's been a while since I dived into all the records by the Queen. Gorillaz, you know, I haven't, I didn't really enjoy their latest album. I found it kind of boring. What's the next album review about? Taylor, that's a great question. It's gonna be On the Wall by Pink Floyd. A lot of you voted, and I think it was a head-and-head between The Wall and Magical Mystery Tour, but I think The Wall won out just because I've been doing a lot of Beatles stuff. It's good to go back to the Floyd, revisit that, and I'm debating whether or not I'm gonna do a whole movie review. But I'm definitely gonna watch it because I think the way The Wall was made, it was intended as a multimedia experience. It wasn't just the album, it was the concert and the film. Demon, what about OK Computer? What about OK Computer? I love OK Computer. What are your thoughts on vintage Aki turntables? I haven't had any experience with those, Gabrielle. I really couldn't tell you, but I'd have to look them up, honestly. What are your thoughts on, sorry, I saw Smashing Pumpkins, they played for 3.5 hours? Zoo Station, that's incredible. 3.5 hours? Wow, they might wear me out before, before they were done playing. Have you ever heard of Muse? Oh, totally. Yeah, Muse is great. Favorite Pink Floyd album? Right now, I really like metal. Have you ever considered reviewing the Beach Boys' Love You album from No, I haven't considered that, but I am really intrigued by the later output by the Beach Boys. I feel a lot of those albums are overlooked and underappreciated, and I think there's some definite gems on there. I think Friends is one I really, really like. Yeah, Ram. That's another great McCartney record, Craig. You need a tobacco pipe. Is that what you mean? How well do you listen? Oh, Nick Drake is great. I get caught up in other stuff, and I haven't revisited him in a while. Do I like Cure? Oh yeah, I just picked up a new Cure double LP. Blanking on the name right now. And Rush, yeah, I definitely like Rush. I have 2112 around here somewhere. And Moving Pictures is another one I really want to pick up. Iggy and the Stooges, definitely love Iggy and the Stooges. Have I done a Beatles mono stereo comparison for all that album episode? No, I haven't yet. That's a great question. That is a whole nother can of worms. It gets bit into the like minutia, like the differences between stereo and mono mixes, especially with the Beatles, that sometimes it becomes not fun for me. It's like too heavily dissecting the music, and but it's something I will consider, especially maybe on a song-to-song basis, especially if it's something very drastic. I know like certain songs, it's like, it's not a huge difference, but other ones, it's like a whole minute was chopped off. Like, I'm blanking on the name, but on the White Album, Helter Skelter. Would I make another video like Who Was Brian Jones? Yeah, actually, totally. That is, I got a lot of ideas for more kind of video essays, mini bio topics, because those seem to be doing really well on the channel. And they, honestly, I love that. The whole Who Was Brian Jones was out of my own curiosity, because as I was writing their Satanic Majesty's Request, I became like literally enamored by Brian Jones. He just has that smile, like a little trickster, like he's putting one on over you. And man, so yeah, that was my honest curiosity about the guy, and just kind of ultimate sadness that he left us so soon, really. But yeah, I definitely have a bunch more up my sleeve, and there's some cool pieces of content coming out shortly too. Have you heard about, what have I heard about the Beatles White Album 50th edition that's going to come out? in November. I haven't heard anything other than Giles Martin is redoing it like he did Sgt. Pepper's. I don't really know, I guess. I don't know what he's gonna do to it, honestly. I don't have a favorite Elliott Smith record. Please show us a video of how I style my hair. You know, that is definitely something I want to talk about in a making of an episode video. I think that would be fun. But honestly, like my hair, it's like a battle day to day. Like I put it one way and then it has a mind of its own. It's gonna do its own thing. So, have you ever heard of Any Midnight Oil? No. Paul McCartney versus Brian Wilson. Oh man, that is a unfair thing, but I'm gonna have to go with McCartney, honestly. What is my favorite Radiohead album? I like OK Computer and I like Kid A lot. It's hard to pick between the two. Did I check out Eagle Station by... No, John, I haven't. Thoughts on Brockhampton? I like Brockhampton. It's something I gotta... I've only dipped my toes into that well. Favorite Velvet Underground record? I really like, what is it, Loaded? I think it's Loaded. But White Light, White Heat, I think I'm getting that name right. That's awesome. And I brought their debut here too, which I really like that one. Thank you, Paul. Yeah, I got kind of busy with other things, and I thought I was going to be out of town for a couple of weeks, but that didn't happen. So I thought, well, might as well do a live chat. So talk about differences between Xers and Generation Y. Dang, David. Generation Y, you know, are you talking about, like, that's a huge subject. Can you narrow it down for me? Are you talking about, like, music, like musicians? Are you talking about, like, people who listen to music from those different generations? I'm really curious what you mean by that. And could you give me a breakdown? Because I get so confused by Gen Y, Gen X. What are they, millennials? I'm technically a millennial, which I don't get. Okay, my 50s aesthetic. Well, it started in high school. I had a good friend, well, we're still friends, my buddy Phil. He kind of got me into it, and he started fixing up a 55 Buick Century, and then I got enamored with 50s car culture, and then rockabilly music and clothing. And then I rediscovered Back to the Future, and I loved when they went to 1955, and then I started in a rockabilly band, and I was just inundated with like 50s music and car culture, and more so like the Viva Las Vegas, like the new school version of it, and I just started getting into like Gene Vincent. And Scotty Moore, right? Elvis Presley's guitar player, Eddie Cochran, Johnny Burnett Trio, a lot of those guys. I just really dug that kind of music, and then I made a film set in the 50s with Martians and rockabilly, and it was just, it kind of took over, and then I just sort of fashioned myself a greaser, and I spent a summer restoring a 57 Chevy. Just had a lot of fun with it, and it's just sort of carried over to now. Now I appreciate more decades, and I definitely try to live in the now as well. Try to appreciate what's going on now, the movements that are happening now. Hope that answered your question. Okay, I think I missed a couple of... Is Vinyl Rewind funded by a company, or am I self-produced? Asking because of quality, even at first. Oh, thank you, man. Yeah. Oh no, this is all. I am self-produced. I'm pretty much a one-man crew. The lighting, the camera, all that. I went to film school, and I took it as a challenge of myself to. I had an idea of how it should look lighting-wise, and I had to kind of like teach myself how to light and then I had to kind of teach myself how to run. Well, I knew how to run a camera, but it's different to run a camera and also be in front of the camera. It's a whole different story. So no, it's all just pretty much me. That's a great question, Chase. Are you going to review any more Radiohead? That's a funny username. My wife left me. Yeah, totally. I think Kide is next up on there. Have you ever seen Paul or Ringo live? No, I've never seen any of the Beatles live. Is Lounge Lizard thing really you or just a character? That's a great question, Curtis. It is a part of me. And it goes back to what I was talking about earlier with me being in love with 50s culture and car culture and all that. And part of how I got into collecting vinyl was going to thrift stores, and I would look for clothes, vintage clothing. Usually it was stuff from the 70s, and I was making movies in high school, and sometimes I'd strike out on clothing, but I'd always look at the vinyl. So to me, it's all a part of who I am, is the vintage aesthetic. Now, do I always wear a suit out when I go get groceries at Costco? No, I don't. So, but I think with, like if you've ever met Conan, he's not always wearing a suit. If you ever see him in person, but he's still who he is, and that's how I look at what I do here. I sometimes between tapings I have more beard growth, but I shave it for the show, and it kind of it's a weird thing, I'm sure, but like most people on YouTube project some sort of persona in a way, but honestly, I will say that when I started this show, I kind of went one direction, and now I've definitely brought it back to more, it's me in a suit. And I look at it just like The Tonight Show or Late Night or whatever. To me, this is my Tonight Show. I come to work, put on a suit, I'm ready to go. Let's do this. So, and it's fun for me because I have so many suits, so many ties, and I love to dress up. And it's just an expression. This is who I am. It's just not what I do every day. Do I like any musicals? I love Singing in the Rain, My Fair Lady. There's other ones I like, but I tend to like musicals from the golden era. What do I think of video essay channels like Polyphonics or Volkgeist that mainly focus on music? That's a great question. I think they're great. They're fantastic. For me personally, even though I studied music and I learned music theory, I didn't retain any of it, and I like what those channels do, and I think for me that's not my strong suit. My strong suit is my curiosity, my penchant for trivia, and I like to see how things connect together, and I like history, and I love learning about how things came to be and why things are the way they are, and that's what I'm really into. So I see the success that those channels are having with video essays, and I'm like, well, I'm not going to do music theory, but I'm going to do, like, you know, who was Brian Jones, or why does a record player play at the speed that it does? Like, those things really intrigue me, and I think those are good for YouTube on top of everything else I already do. So, thanks, Dion. Do you have any merch for sale? Every video. Oh, well, thank you. Scott, if you go to vinylrewind.tv/shop, actually, no, there isn't any merch. I do have merch. I just don't have it for sale yet, and it will be up soon. It will be, but I'm gonna flip this record over. But if you do send me a self-addressed stamped envelope to my address that I have listed on the channel page, I'll send you some stickers, maybe a postcard too. Ever consider making a review on introducing? Definitely, yeah. Consider your, yeah, I totally agree with that. My favorite director. Oh, man. Living director, I mean, I really like Spielberg. I really like Ridley Scott, but I feel like Ridley Scott doesn't always make the best films, but they look amazing. There's probably other people I'm forgetting. I really like John Carpenter, but he hasn't really done much of anything. Yes, I love New Wave, and B-52s are fantastic. Do I? Oh my gosh, Stefan, what's up, buddy? Yes, I recently joined a Discord server, and it's been interesting hanging out in there. Do I fold? I don't fold my toilet paper. I haven't listened to Paul's new record yet. First album I bought was a close to mint stereo UK copy of Sgt. Pepper's. Oh, that's fantastic. Favorite David Bowie album? That's too hard. Too hard. Way too hard. He has so many. You really want a coffee mug, David? Because I will put one up. What is it? You know what I'll do? I'll do that today. I'll finish making my, I'll connect my merch shop to the YouTube page. Really? A coffee mug? But hey, you know what? If you get it. Do I like any metal? I do like metal. But I'm woefully, I especially like when I work out, but I'm woefully ignorant when it comes to new artists and how to explore, because it's not always conducive for working, so I don't tend to listen to it, so I have to like listen to it when I work out. What's an easily digestible album I highly recommend? Well, I would say Magical Mystery Tour by the Beatles, or Weezer's Blue Album, or I would say Pet Sounds by Beach Boys. Favorite album of the year so far? Ooh, that's a great question. I have a list, so I don't have to always remember. But I really like the new MGMT. The Voids is great. I enjoyed, Beach House's 7. That was fantastic. There's been a lot of good stuff. Should really make a fall about the rise and fall of Ziggy Stardust. Oh, absolutely. Oh, that is one of my favorite Bowie albums for sure. Have you ever reviewed a comedy album? Like spoken word comedy album? No, the closest I came was I talked about the Hobbit storybook, and it kind of turned me off a little bit. Of course, that was like way back when I started the channel, so I wouldn't be opposed to starting it now, but honestly, if it's just spoken word comedy, I feel like that's a different thing. It's not about music at that point. But I have done some comedy albums. No way, your great uncle owns a First State Butcher's cover that he keeps in a fireproof, bulletproof display case. That he got it from Sears, and that means he is an original owner. He got it at Sears in 1966. That's fantastic. Let me know if it's a mono or stereo edition. I only have a second state. Second state. That's a great episode in itself too. I really want to make that. Are you gonna do any more videos on Bob Dylan? Yeah, I have plans. I just I got a huge backlog of videos I need to do, and I this is my part-time, full-time job. By the way, favorite Beach House album? It might be Teen Dream. It might be Teen Dream. I'm gonna make Led Zeppelin videos. I definitely intend to go into Led Zeppelin for sure. If I told you there is a genre called turbo funk, how would you imagine it sounding? I would imagine it sounding like turbo folk. Turbo folk. That would sound like acoustic metal. That's what it would sound like to me. With maybe some yodeling. I don't know, man. Favorite Tame Impala album other than Currents? I really like, what is it? Inner Speaker. Inner Speaker? I always get what... Inner Speaker is the debut, right? And then the second one is... Right? I'm blanking right now. This music is Smashing Pumpkins' Siamese Dream. Thoughts on Greta Van Fleet? They're really good musicians. They're young. I really want them to find their own voice, though. I think it's great that they are out there. They're doing the Led Zeppelin thing. I don't know. I was told, well, I mean, they're not a jukebox, but I don't know. I want to see them do their own thing. Opinion on Captain Beefheart and Magic Band's Trout Mask replica. You know, John, that's I haven't really explored it enough to give you an honest opinion on that. Wait, really? It's like reggaeton but super Slavic? Really? Please tell me about the chair. Not people know about that. You talking about the Eames chair? This thing? I don't know. Can you see that spinning? Probably. See a little bit of it. Well, this is a knockoff. It's not a real chair. A real one's like $4,000, which I'd love to own one day. I got mine for like 60 bucks on Craigslist. The guy didn't know what he had, because even knockoffs go for like $300-400. But yeah. Do I like rap? Absolutely. My uncle had a First State Butcher's cover and he gave it to a mate in the 70s. Oh no! Have you ever listened to music by Gordon Lightfoot? Yeah, but not on purpose. I think I've just heard it on the... Okay, thank you, Fun Stuff. Inner Speaker is their debut. What was their second one? I keep blanking on that. That was... I don't know why I can't... I'm on the spot and I forget this stuff. That's why I write it down and I put it in a video and I do takes. Your friend's uncle once met Styx frontman Tommy Shaw at a soup... That's amazing, Craig. After looking at the photos I took, I am positive it is a mono copy. Still, though, to have a First State is fantastic. I would love to have one. Lonerism. Thank you, Fun Stuff. Really, you know, I gotta revisit Lonerism because, like, the first... From what I remember, I felt Lonerism was a bit more uneven than Inner Speaker, but I'm probably missing something there. What's up, Groovy Lisa? What's the album in the back? Oh, this, my Vinyl Rewind thing fell down. I have no idea what the heck this is. This is from a bunch of like junk records that I just put here to make it look like there's a lot of records in there. It's movie making, guys. This is Tchaikovsky, Rimsky-Korsakov. I guess it's classical music. Oh yeah, so it's two different, an Italian and a Spanish classical piece. Crazy photo, right, though? They totally, it looks like they cut out the sky or something. Made it blue, or, oh, maybe they like punched up the saturation. There we go. They're reheating rock. That's so funny, Charles. What do I think about Franz Ferdinand Ascending? I haven't heard it yet. But Franz Ferdinand was so funny because when they first came out, and this is when rock radio was really used, or I listened to rock radio a lot in college, and Franz Ferdinand came out, in my mind, the same time that the Killers came out. And as I was still learning those two bands, I would get them confused all the time, which sounds silly now, but that's how I always associate them. Favorite live performance I've ever seen? Weird Al, man. I don't know if anything will ever beat that. My favorite jazz record, I don't know if I have one. I mean, Bitches Brew is an odyssey. I mean, that almost transcends jazz in itself. I mean, for that time, it really pushed it. Will I ever cover the band Gorillaz? Yeah, I definitely will talk about which one is their most popular album. Is it Demon Days or Plastic Beach? I can't remember. I can't keep them straight. But for me, when the Gorillaz came out, they felt like a singles band. Like they never were compelling enough for me to want to go buy an album. And so I guess I still have some prejudice towards that band because of that. Thank you, Mick Sneezy. Where does my love of music come from? Is it my childhood? Gosh, you know, that's a great question. Where does my love of music come from? I mean, I think for a lot of people, it has to start in childhood, right? I mean, there's probably moments in everyone's life when they were a kid where something like, you know, a song came on that just really inspired them or something. And I feel like that's the same for me. And I have certain phases of, like, I categorize my life in certain phases. And I think when you're younger, it's, for whatever reason, it's easier to like consume music. Like it's all around you. Your friends say, hey, you got to check out this band. And what I'm discovering now is like you hit a certain age and you just stop exploring new music. And I run into that all the time with some of my friends, or even I remember being younger, older friends of my parents, you know, they were kind of stuck in a certain era of music, but I could always relate to them because I was getting into classic rock at a young age. So it was what I realized with music, it really is a bridge. It's a bridge to like understanding someone. If you have it's almost like a common language, common knowledge. So like I discovered that early on. You know, music is not just something to pass the time, but when I was doing more sports, it got you fired up. Like it inspired you to go get that 5-minute mile. So I think honestly where it comes from is filmmaking, which seems kind of weird, right? But I would, even when I was very young, like I would, we gotta change the record soon, but like I would be playing with a jet and like I'd be like recreating Iron Eagle or Top Gun, and I'd have like Danger Zone in my head, playing in my head as I'd like look at different camera angles with my jet to kind of imagine flying and like hearing that music. And I became obsessed with like movie music, like diegetic, well not diegetic, but like sourced music, like Stand By Me, a lot of great songs all in one film. And so I think film really educated me. And at the time when I grew up, it really wasn't easy to go explore music. And soundtracks were a great way to kind of get exposed to music you wouldn't otherwise have known about. And so also when in high school I started making silly movies. You know, now you would put them up on YouTube, but then I had to put them up on cable public access, and I had to edit them you know, VCR style. I mean, they were high-end VCRs. But I'd always think about like, what's the perfect song to go here? And you know, I had this really sad scene, and so I put a Cars song in there. So I was obsessed with like getting, you know, just listening to music and figuring out what it evokes in the lyrics and the music visually, and then putting that against something. So a lot of times I guess I would be making music videos but not ever do anything with them. So, and then from there, I think naturally young people just explore music. And then thankfully I started this show young enough that I haven't stopped and exploring new and old. And I'm always discovering new stuff. So I guess my love has changed over the years, but I guess in short, it comes from movies. That was a long answer. Oh my goodness, we have a super chat from Scott. Thank you so much. Really appreciate that. And he says, just want to thank you for your awesome show. Keep up the great work. I really appreciate that, Scott. That's a very kind donation of you. All right, let's catch up here. Yes, Kiss Alive and Cheap Trick live at Budokan. Awesome live albums. Kiss Alive, that you might get into hot territory with calling that a live album, but you know, that's a great topic too, the controversy of that album, which admittedly I'm kind of ignorant on. I know there was. Do I listen to some Swedish music? If I did, I didn't realize that the artist was from Sweden? Sweden? That being said, I don't really know what like the traditional music of that era is. Do I like the Tubes? I do like the Tubes, and growing up in Santa Cruz, for some reason, they would always play New Year's Eve. And that's like, I knew about the Tubes before I even heard a song by them, because they would always come to town, and I didn't quite get it. Oh, congrats, Cyrus, for picking up Sgt. Pepper's fantastic album. Hey, Bill, thank you so much. Yeah, I don't even know if that public access TV station's still active in Santa Cruz, but there was a while where one of my shorts was on this random tape that they would just kind of stick in every so often when they didn't have content. Oh, I should check. You know, okay. I can't even say that. Krugabin. I should look them up. Actually, I might have listened to them. Hopefully, they're on Spotify. Aha! They are. Wait a minute. Did I spell that right? Nope, I spelled it wrong. Gosh darn it. Some other band has almost their same name. Ah, here we go. Here we go. Cool. Okay, they have a new one out. Oh, you know what? I have listened to them. Yes, I have listened to them. They're fantastic. They're really good. I really like what they do. Make a video for All Things Must Pass. Definitely. Do I play any instruments? Guitar. I play. I used to play trumpet. I used to be able to play trumpet, but I don't really do that anymore. Oh, you're welcome, Bill. Yeah, Esquivel's amazing. The strange thing is the small ending to Sgt. Pepper's that plays at the end of a day in a life that just stops after 1 second, but it's a great album. Yeah, Cyrus, that I believe is a locked groove. And if it's only playing for a second, your turntable arm, is it like an automatic return? Because certain turntable arms won't actually hit that locked groove, or it will, but it will kick the arm back up, so you won't actually hear it. What for a perfect White Album box set? At first I thought it was a White Album lunchbox set, and I was like, that sounds amazing. Sign me up for that. What do I want for a perfect White Album box set? I would love to hear the demos. I guess they're available, but I'd love a nice package of the demos that they recorded at Harrison's house that led to the development of the White Album. And I'd love to hear John Lennon's version of Good Night, the song that Ringo sings at the end of the album. Because apparently it's an amazing recording that no one ever got to hear because I think it got lost. Or maybe it's destroyed, one or the other. Do I have Melancholy on vinyl? I don't. I wish I did, though. I really like Kamasi Washington. I enjoyed his new album. I only listened to it once, so I can't give it a fair shake yet, but I really do. What version of Sgt. Pepper do I like? I really like the Giles Martin remaster. I think it sounds fantastic. I really do. I think it's fantastic. Oh God, I love this song. I love this song so much. Duncan Drown, probably the most underrated music. I will check out this Duncan fellow. I do like Duncan chic though. I'm not afraid to say that. Duncan Drown? Maybe I'm spelling it wrong. Oh, there's an E. Huh. Not seeing him on Spotify. That's too bad. Do I listen to the Beatles B-sides, Old Brown Shoe? Yes. The Inner Light, etc. Do I listen to Beatles B-side, Old Brown? I don't think I have. What's a good beginner turntable and receiver? That's a great question, Nicholas. I would say, as tempting as they are, anything less than $300 for a new turntable you're going to regret it in the long run. You're better off saving another month's pay to spend, like this one. This is a Fluence. You can get, this is a little bit more than their base model, but this is a fantastic one. Project has one for around $300. Riga, I don't think Riga does. U-Turn Orbit turntable. U-Turn is okay. I honestly, there's a lot that I don't like about that turntable, but if you're in the United States, that's a good way to go. Project, I think I already said that. Riga. I really like the Audio-Technica LP120. It's a little bit, it's a direct drive. It's a little bit different. It's not as pretty as this, but if for like playing all types of different records, you can't go wrong. But yeah, around $300 for something like that. And then, but if you go used, you can probably find something for the $200 range that plays well. And then receiver-wise, if you go with a newer turntable, a lot of times they have a line out. They have a built-in preamp, which is kind of useful because then you can plug it into any kind of receiver, any kind of amp. But if you didn't go that route, you can also get like powered speakers that have that. There's a bunch of different ones on the market. You could, honestly, when it comes to like speakers and stuff, I've always found good luck at thrift stores or Craigslist, things like that, where you buy them used. Because that's easy to upgrade. But I feel like turntable wise, you really want something that's not going to damage your record, basically. Like, cheap turntables are cheap because they have a crappy cartridge. Their tone arm isn't great. They may be applying too much tracking force onto the record, which causes unnecessary wear to your vinyl. So yeah, hope that helps. Wait, what? What's a good? Okay, I already answered. I want to hear the 28-minute version of Helter Skelter. That was Paul. Paul says he has the only copy. I don't know if I can handle 28 minutes of that, man. Do I like the Pixies? Absolutely. Favorite rap artists? Early LL Cool J, Run DMC, Kendrick Lamar, I'm blanking on his name. Danny Brown. Danny Brown, is that right? Danny? No, yeah, well, Danny Brown, and then Run the Jewels, and then, well, they're a group. And then, who else? I like Jay-Z, but, I mean, what's his face? Tupac, Biggie. Do I have a favorite King Gizzard album? Nonagon Infinity. Check out your band Fast Cakes. I love that name. I'll check them out. I'll check you guys out. Fast Cakes. We'll start with the latest release. Yeah, Yamaha is a great brand to go with too. Yamaha, Pioneer, Marantz, those are all great brands. Techniques, I would be wary of them, especially that name has been bought and sold so many times. Technics doesn't always guarantee good quality. There was a period where they just kind of made crappy components. I mean, they're okay. They get the job done, but don't expect like their flagship turntable quality in some of those items. Although these Butterfingers, these days I think they're coming back a little bit. Any Red Hot Chili Pepper like bands you can recommend? I don't know. Oh, yeah, it is a Fluence. Fluence just contacted me. They have something new in the works. That's all I'm gonna say, but I'm very excited. I don't know anything. Actually, I really don't know much else, but I'm excited that I get to check out another product by them. What do I do for a living? That's a great question, Good Music. So I have kind of, well, for the last 10 years, I've worked as a wedding videographer, photographer, editor, album designer. So I do a lot of wedding crap or wedding stuff, wedding bliss. I edit people's memories. So yeah, so I shoot a lot of that. I'm in LA. I have a couple of different agents. I have a manager. So I go out on auditions, and currently I have a commercial that's still playing where I'm a robot for a Kohler toilet, and I keep getting paid from that, so that's fantastic. But it's, you know, comes in fits and spurts. And I also run an Airbnb, and I run some rental units. So I have different avenue streams, and some months I do really well, and then some months like I'm really busy. I also do like freelance video work. I work with a company out of Santa Cruz called Life Aid, and I've done a lot of stuff for their brand Fit Aid. Excuse me. Frog in my throat there. So a lot of times I'm traveling, but it's all like freelance stuff, and I mostly work at home. Have I given Love by the Beatles album a listen? A lot of cool you know, once I heard it once, and it was years ago, and I didn't really think that much of it. Yeah, I love Django Reinhardt. Yeah, he really, when I was learning guitar, I really wanted to play like him, but I realized I'm not that talented. Okay, Cyrus, you have a manual needle record player, and my parents have an automatic record player. Really? That... You know, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong, but I thought the end of Sgt. Pepper's was a locked groove. I thought it just would keep going unless you picked up the needle. You guys can correct me, please. Fantastic, Ben. You have an old Kenwood. Kenwood's another decent brand. Thoughts on Jack White? You know, he won me over with his... whatever the album was called, Beach House or Beach, what is it called? I can't remember, with the girl on the cover. I thought that was fantastic, but before that, I really wasn't that into White Stripes or Jack White. Belt drive or direct drive? I think both have their merits. It really depends what you're going for. I think most people are happy with a belt drive. I don't think you need a direct drive. A direct drive is great for if you're carting your turntable around a lot as a DJ. But for most consumers, I think a belt drive is just fine. Yeah, Beach House 7, that's fantastic. What's my rarest record? That's a good question. Because like, what is rare, right? Rare means there wasn't a lot made. And I'm trying to think what would be my lowest numbered record that I own, and it might be this 7-inch by College featuring Electric Youth. That might be my rarest record, but probably my most valuable record, and it's hard to know the numbers on those, would be my Yesterday and Today Butcher cover Paste Over. Do I dislike the ATLP 60? Yeah, I don't recommend that turntable. Hey Lucas. Hey, thank you so much, man. Run DMC, yes. When does the stream end? Let's see, what time is it? It is almost 1 o'clock. I was gonna, let me check something real quick. I didn't really have an end date or an end time in mind, but maybe 3 o'clock, maybe. Yeah, we'll go to 3. I think would be a good thing. Tribe Called Quest, amazing. I forgot about them. Yes, I do like Brockhampton. Yeah, when I get bored. I don't know Astro World by Travis Scott. Do I keep a spreadsheet of all the albums I own? Great question, Scott. I actually am in the process of cataloging all of my records, and I have them on Discogs. That's where I'm keeping them at the moment. And right now I think I have like 2,200 cataloged, but that's not all of them. And what I've been finding is I have a lot of unnecessary duplicates. And so I've been just like, I wouldn't say I am like gutting my collection, but I'm definitely taking out the fat of my collection. Like, there's a lot of records still that I own that I'm like, do I really listen to this? No. Like, I'm not gonna be able to own every soundtrack album ever. So what is my collection of soundtrack records gonna be? It's gonna be records of films that I love, and or the music is amazing. So I've been cutting out a lot of records I don't need. So it's been kind of therapeutic in one way, and then also it's been very helpful that when I'm out digging, I'll be like, wait a minute, do I own this Genesis record? No, I don't. So I'll buy these 3, right? It's one of those kind of things. And also I keep track of my condition, so that way, wow, this one's in near mint condition. Mine at home has a big old sticker on the cover. What? If you play the interlude of Sgt. Pepper's backwards, you hear, will Paul be back as Billy Shears? Maybe. Kids See Ghosts. Oh, that was one of my... I love that album. I'm dying for it to be on vinyl so I can talk about it on Pick of the Week. Classic Techniques were gold standard for broadcast turntables back in the day. Absolutely. What's your favorite Van Halen album? I love their debut. What's Van Halen? Okay, it's a joke. Is that black and white photo in the background me? No, that's Johnny Cash. That's Johnny Cash. Yeah, that is me in the Kohler ad. Do I like Green Day? Absolutely, yes. Have I listened to Now by the Gorillaz? Yeah, it didn't. It kind of bored me, to be honest. Yeah, what's up? Is this Riff? Riff, are you watching? Yes, man. I would love to hang out. I've been a fan of the NES Pursuit for many, many years. I was very sad that it went away, but I totally understand that you guys had to do what you did, and I'm glad Pixel Game Squad is here. That's fantastic. I would love to go. Your NES Pursuit videos just I'm living vicariously through you guys. You guys have so much fun. It's such a treat to watch you guys. Let's send me a message or something, or however this works. Do you see yourself doing any videos on Black Sabbath? Absolutely, Liam. Absolutely. Okay. Thank you for that. Okay, so on some versions of Sgt. Pepper's, it's not a locked groove, but on others it is. I think the Giles Martin version, that's a locked groove. Oh, nice, punk nerd. You got Dookie through 20th Century Breakdown. Did you ever get into their early days? What was that, 21 Slap Happy Hours? I think that's a compilation of a lot of their singles. I really liked that album. Did you ever listen to Dr. Demento? Absolutely. I grew, my older brothers would they would tape his show on the radio, off the radio, and I would hear it in the car. And like, I grew up loving Fish Heads. Unfortunately, I never got to hear him live. I only have his albums that he put out. Love is Great. Favorite non-studio Beatles album? I don't know. Maybe Past Masters? Or one of the two compilation ones, the red or the blue one. Thoughts on Airplane Over the Sea? It's fantastic. I love that. Do I have any unplugged albums? I don't. Oh, thank you so much for the donation, Riff. I really appreciate that, man. I'm behind on these comments here. American Idiot. Okay, I was going to say buy the greatest hits on vinyl, but do I prefer Eleanor Rigby on the Love soundtrack or Revolver? You know what? I'm going to go with Revolver because that's my bread and butter, man. I love the original versions. The Love is cool, but it kind of throws me for a loop. Have you ever listened to the satanic metal band Ghost? I need to. They are on my list, and I'm gonna thank you for the reminder. I'm gonna put them back on my list. So I will listen to Ghost. And yeah, we'll just, man, they got, do they have that many albums? It looks like we'll just listen to this one. We'll save that one. Worst Nirvana album? I don't know, man. Have you ever heard the Indiana band called The Faith? They did a single called Dancing Shoes and Nigel. No, I don't know about them. Oh, do I prefer colored or black vinyl when there's a choice? Aesthetically, I love colored vinyl, but the audiophile in me, if I can even call myself that, I prefer black vinyl. But I would love to do a comparison between the two of them. I will say though, straight colored vinyl or clear vinyl, I don't mind. It's when they do the splits. I don't like splits. I don't think they look good to me. I like splatter, but like tricolor split, half split, I'm just not into it. I love Nick Cave. I don't know if I have a favorite album. Because honestly, I only like the album he put out after his kid died, right? God, I'm sorry, I'm blanking on this. That was an amazing album. But if you're talking about like classic The Bad Seeds, I couldn't tell you, man. Elton John's Tumbleweed Connections, fantastic. What do I use to store all my records? I have one of those Kallax ones, but honestly, I am in the process of remedying that. A lot of them are on the ground and like leaning against in stacks. It's terrible. I have some boxes, but no, I have one shelf that's just full of records, and then yeah, it's not good, man. Least favorite Beatles album? I must choose one. Oh, that's so hard. It's so hard. It's so hard. I mean, you can't count. I mean, do you count Let It Be? I don't know. Yeah, I guess you can. I was thinking of Hey Jude. Hey Jude's a compilation. Might be Let It Be, or you know, I don't really think of them in that sense. Dang, that is a hard question. I'm looking at my, if you're wondering what I'm looking at my Beatles mono box set, trying to like, what, because their first album's fantastic, and then what is it? With the Beatles, and then Beatles for Sale. I mean, Hard Day's Night's a classic. Help. Rubber Soul, Revolt. Yeah, that's too hard, man. What's your least favorite? Oh no, really? People are saying, who is Paul McCartney? He made a record with Kanye. Oh, that's terrible. Yeah, Revolution 9 is not, it's cool for the time, and it's cool on its own, but yeah, it's not a great song. As a kid, I loved how weird it was, though. Mac DeMarco. Yes, Mac DeMarco. Are you kidding? Do I ever win a Matt Smith lookalike contest? No. I did go as Doctor Who one year with the fez and all that. That was kind of fun. For Halloween. Well, yeah, people are going to ask what my favorite albums are. I think it's not so much their question, it's my answer is not very good. Have you ever reviewed any Who reviews like Tommy? I haven't done any Who reviews. Tommy the movie is really freaking weird. I don't know if I like it. But I like Who's Next. I love that album. Beatles for Sale. You know, I was thinking Beatles for Sale might be their worst, but I just couldn't remember what was on it. Heavy J, I recommend go to Sleeve City. They have an economical outer sleeve. I just picked some up. They're really good. For the price, I really recommend them. Sleeve City online. I think they're proprietary. I think that's how you say that word. I think you can only get them there. Oh, really? Hot Rats and Anya Asia by Steely Dan. Impressive sound quality. For me, that would be my Mobile Fidelity pressing of Weezer's Blue Album. They haven't got a bad album. What about Yellow Submarine? I think Yellow Submarine's pretty good. I don't think it's as good as Magical Mystery Tour, though. Do I have a recommendation for a prog band? My favorite album is Dark Side of the Moon. I mean, have you checked out King Crimson? They're fantastic. What? Oh, thank you, Chris. Chris, thank you so much for that very kind donation. Thank you for the recommendation, too. You know what's funny? When I went to my Spotify, I actually saved that particular album for no other reason that it had a deluxe version. So I figured, well, that must be a very popular one. So, okay, so that is it for Siamese Dream. We're gonna remove that. We're gonna do the next record on the request list, and I think it's appropriate, actually. We have Revolver here, and Gregatron and Ethan Zapeta both, I think, asked for this particular album, and I'm sure all of you love the Beatles because they're one of the greatest bands ever, of course. And here we go. And this is a fantastic album. This is the mono edition from the mono box set. And we'll probably get flagged, but oh well. Here we go. Let's go back. Yeah, I think I own Gotcho by Steely Dan. Oh yeah, Yes is a great prog band as well. Gotcha, I own it. I haven't really explored it much. Blood, Sweat, and Tears. They're one of those. What do they call that? Horn rock. And I was stuck on a plane I was on this plane ride and I was stuck listening to the canned music that they, because this was years ago, and I didn't have a Walkman, and that what is it? Not Wheels in the Sky, but there's some song of theirs that was like hugely popular, and I just got sick of it. So every time I think of Blood, Sweat, and Tears, I think of I think of that plane trip. But no, they're not a band I'm really that into, to be honest. Really, Steve Perry's got a new album out. That should be interesting. Oh, thank you. Thank you. I'm gonna say your name wrong. Kararu Dragon. That's funny you should mention Vaporwave. And this is kind of a sneak peek, but I don't have any reviews per se, but I did pick up some pretty cool Vaporwave-esque albums, as well as a future funk record. So expect a video on that shortly. I'm trying to think when, but it'll be coming out. I don't exactly remember when that's coming out. Where are we here? Is Beatles folk rock? I think there were times when Beatles went into that territory, especially on Rubber Soul. Metallica or Megadeth? Oh, buddy, that's a hard question, Billy. Yeah, Spinning Wheel. Thank you. I kept thinking Wheel, but I kept hearing Journey in my head. Yeah, Spinning Wheel. Oh my gosh, that song. I loved it, but by the end of that plane trip, I wanted to shoot myself because I probably heard it 5 times. Worst Stones album. Oh, maybe Goat's Head Soup? I don't know, man. That's a hard... There was some stuff in the 80s, too, that was questionable. Yeah, I didn't answer that question, though. Metallica or Megadeth? For my money, I'm going to go with Metallica. But they're both great bands. What is the best pressing of Pink Floyd albums? You know, I am not the best person to ask about that. Steve Hoffman Forums is a great place to go. I've heard fantastic things about the Japanese pressing. I mean, specifically Dark Side of the Moon here. This is where let's just be honest. So Dark Side of the Moon, Japanese pressing, original UK pressings, even later UK pressings are great. Mobile Fidelity. And then there's like an even higher version of Mobile Fidelity. I think it came in a black box. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure they did a pass at that, at this super high quality vinyl that I think goes for like $1,000 now. They did Sgt. Pepper's as well, but they was short lived. I think it was like late 70s, early 80s. Mo-Fi tried their hand at that. Do I like Queen? Absolutely. Love Me Do is the Beatles' most sonically claustrophobic sounding record. I never thought of it in that sense. I gotta re-listen to it with that in mind. That is a really interesting observation. Really, David, you didn't like Black and Blue. I heard that was really cool. What are my thoughts on Yoko Ono? I mean, John loved her, and they had a connection. I don't particularly like the Plastic Ono band. But like, I don't have any hard feelings against her. I don't know. Do I like Kind of Blue? Absolutely. I should own a copy of it. Favorite musicians that I've met. Are you asking like who I've met that are my favorite musicians, or musicians that I've met who... I'm getting myself confused here, because that sounds like a ego contest. Probably Weird Al, I met him briefly. That was fantastic. Who else? I met Michael Bublé, but honestly, he's not my favorite. I met the founder of Aquabats. That was really cool. I love their show. Mike Ness, really cool guy. Got to hang out with the whole band. Very nice guys. Who else was really cool? You know, sometimes on music videos you just meet these people. I really don't go to concerts too often. Really, Cyrus, she put the glasses John Lennon died wearing on one of her album covers? I didn't know that. That's kind of messed up. I'm not sure what I think about Chicago's Terry Kath. I haven't heard McCartney's new album yet. Why are you such a Weird Al fan? And do you like... I'm not sure where that was going. Why am I a weird... Well, he was like my first musician, like the first artist I found on my own, basically. Prior to that, the music I listened to was what my parents or brothers were listening to, but Weird Al was like the music I listened to. And he gave me a real foundation of loving all types of different genres. So, admittedly, I don't really listen to him a lot today, though. You know, that's so funny that you bring up Spyro Gyra. I can't even say their name, because I was just listening to 2 of their records, and yeah, I listened to them. They're an interesting sound, very catchy stuff. There's some good stuff, definitely, but I don't I don't know if I necessarily need to own their stuff on vinyl. Interesting. Okay, No One Important asks a pretty cool question. Many artists from the past are today considered undeniable classics, and people say that was the golden age, or this was, and so on. But we all seem to be under the impression that what we see as classics now were instantly recognized as such upon their release, and what people see as classics from today are much disputed. Now, how long a time needs to pass in order for something to be considered a classic and raise little eyebrows as possible? You know, I'm trying to think of an album that was initially really panned by critics, and I'm at the top of my... It's at the top of my head. I just can't think of what album. I mean, there's been cases recently where things are torn apart by critics, but are later revealed to be brilliant. And I think part of what is different about today is that we have Butterfingers again. Is that today we have the internet, and we have these chat rooms, and we have these like microcosms, and we have these like little bubble think tanks to where we don't have this like collective knowledge of what's popular. Like, to me, you know, Thriller by Michael Jackson, everybody knows that album, and it's fantastic, and it's a classic. And I think, you know, at the time it really was seen that way. But today it's really hard to have that impact, and like I don't see that happening with Ariana Grande or Taylor Swift. Maybe with Justin Timberlake, maybe, but you know, where there's that mass appeal, like grandmas down to little kids like it. I would see maybe more so with Bruno Mars, but even he kind of gets into territory that like grandmas might not like the lyrical content. So that's a great question. Like why? I don't know. I think there's just so many more opinions, and there's more ways to voice your opinion, YouTube, Twitter, that it's kind of hard to have a consensus on what's a classic and what's not. And like, I don't know, I think there's a bit of elitism too, to like a kind of a hipster thing to like, oh, this, you know, that's not a classic. So I don't know. That's a great question. I accidentally just messed that up. I don't know if that's a great answer. I apologize. I'll have to think more about that. Which is the best Beatles reunion single, Free, As a Bird, or Real Love? I really liked Real Love. Who from the Beatles do you think had the best solo career? I'm gonna have to say McCartney. And it's kind of not fair because he's been recording the longest and he's one of two that are still alive. But I think for like, if you purely go by like radio airplay, I would say you hear more of McCartney's singles than you do, obviously, of Ringo's. George Harrison made some fantastic albums, but I don't recall his music really being played that much. And then Lennon with Imagine. But yeah, I think he was a little too abrasive for the radio. Oh, that's too bad. I didn't realize Yoko treated Julian poorly. That's sad. Favorite King Crimson album? I really love In the Court of the Crimson King, man. That's like one of my favorites. Did I hear Year of the Snitch by Death Grips? Absolutely, Austin. That was a fantastic record. I so like that record. How about Michael McDonald? He was in the Doobie Brothers, right? Because I love the Doobie Brothers. Michael McDonald, I don't really have any of his solo work. I should check out Terra Milos. Definitely, I will check that out. Terra artist. Oh, cool! They're a new band. Awesome. I love Washed Out. How did you develop the cinematography stage style? Did you make it up yourself, or do you have a team behind it? Oh, well, the look of the vinyl pad was my buddy, my best friend, Josh. He designed this. In terms of like the look and the aesthetic, again, a lot of that's Josh, but we watched a lot of like Playboy After Dark and Dick Cavett, stuff like that. Lighting wise, that's me. Josh, you know, he had ideas of like pools of light, sort of like an intimate setting. This is sort of an idyllic version of how we imagine listening to vinyl is. You know, really the speaker should be pointing at you, not at the camera, but it's for film, you guys get it. But yeah, lighting wise, a lot of that is me just experimenting, trying to dial it in right, and you know, putting diffusion, adding some black foil, black wrap to kind of really cone the light, put the light more on me, less on the background. Partly that's the space. It's not a very big space in here. Like if you've ever been to like a Tonight Show, if you've ever gone to a taping of one of those shows, you'll be surprised how much space there is between, you know, where the host sits and where the background is, you know, because you want to kind of be able to manipulate light that way. And especially some of those light boxes where they have the cityscape behind them, that's like a good 3 feet from where the background is to where where it starts, where the light hits, and that's how it creates that real. I mean, obviously it doesn't look real, but it looks convincing enough that, you know, for a moment it gives the impression that, you know, that's a window.
Hope that makes sense. We got one more song on this side. All right, Craig, take care. Yeah. What's my favorite Aretha Franklin song? I love Respect. Oh, cool. Ron Gallo. Thank you, Kyle. I will check out Ron Gallo. Cool. Ah, this guy looks cool, man. Really nice guys. Cool. I'll check that out. There's a college humor video where Ringo wants to sing more. That sounds hilarious. Thoughts on Evil Women by ELO? Oh, amazing. John Mayer or Joe Bonamassa? You know, I don't know Joe. John Mayer, I loved his album when he came out. What is it, like? I can't even remember what that was called. Oh, I can't even spell right. All right, I'll check this guy out. There you go, black coffee. Why not? Have you ever heard of Fishbone? Oh, absolutely. OK Go. Love OK Go. Most underrated Led Zeppelin song? For me, it's The Rover. I don't know, man. Thank you, Connor. I appreciate it, man. Thank you for watching. The Wall or Wish You Were Here? I'm going to go with Wish You Were Here. Sorry. I love The Wall as a concept record, but it makes me sad and angry when I listen to it. It doesn't put me in a great mood. I think that's the point. Have you listened to the new OC's album? No, I haven't. They're so hard to keep up with. Their catalog is ridiculous. I don't understand. Their album covers are amazing, though. I love their artwork. Beach House is amazing. Oh, Beach House, Victoria. I loved meeting her. She's great. I know her brother. Really? Greta Van Fleet basically ripped off the Rover. No way. What's wrong with OK Go? They're fun, man. There's nothing wrong with having some fun. I mean, I don't own any of their music. They don't piss me off when I hear them. I don't know, man. Music, there's music that's like thought-provoking, and there's music that's just fun to have on at a party. I'm gonna go with Cat Stevens over James Taylor. I can't. James Taylor, his voice kind of bugs me. Yes, I did check out the Klangstoff album. I believe. I think it was in my Spotify. Let me just double check. Oh, you know what? I think I lied. I apologize. I did not check them out yet. How do you even say that? Wait. Their album cover looks familiar now. Maybe I did. I'm getting confused. Have I heard of Angel Olsen? I covered her on Pick of the Week, man. Yeah, people are talking about McCartney said he masturbated with Lennon, and I mean, you couldn't have taken that to your grave, McCartney. I don't know why he needed to talk about that. I should watch that interview clip. The White Stripes or the Black Keys? Oh, Kyle, you're going for blood on that one. You know they don't like each other. Auerbach and Jack White. I'm gonna ask me that again later. I should pair the Roger Waters melon cocktail for the wall. Oh, I love that. It contains watermelon, lime zest, London Dry gin, Aperol, Chambord, Royale splash water. Okay, that's a real drink? Fantastic. Thank you for that. I'm gonna if I can copy that. It doesn't seem like I can. Oh well. I'll remember that. Roger Waters melon. I'll remember that. Have I heard of Gentle Giant? Yeah, I did. I recently checked them out. They were really cool, man. I really want to find one of their records now. Dude, your friend is a mate of Mary McCartney. Holy crap. And he went over to Paul's house? That's so... Oh, that would be amazing. I don't know what I would do. You did not just make that joke. That is hilarious. Come together all over me right now. Okay, yeah, Connor. I will magically retro. I will. Hey, I don't care about self-promotion. You got to do it, man. I will check out your channel. Oh wait, it's not your. Okay, it's a different channel. Shoot. Let me magically retro. All right. Magically retro. Did I spell that right? Oh shoot! No! Technical difficulties, everybody. Let's go back to my channel. Oh, there it was. Let's go. There we go. You know what? If you could... Oh, I spelled it with too many Y's. That was my problem. You know what? If you could just send me, like, put it in a comment on or send me a message on the community page or something, or I don't know how you do that, but just maybe email me too. Yeah, Anthony Fantano, right? That would be crazy. I'd love to. You know what? This is my dream. Maybe it's a sad dream. You guys can judge me. But once I get my collection filled out, you guys can't see where I'm pointing, but it's directly opposite of me. Once I get that built, I would love to have him over and like have him just go through my collection and have us just shoot the breeze. Just to like, you know, have him like pull out interesting records or whatever. I think that would be kind of a fun thing to do. I know he comes to LA. He's probably a busy dude. Favorite blues band? I don't know if I have a favorite blues band, man. Beat the Beatles. I saw that headline. Have you ever thought about mixing in an 8-track player? You mean like record the tape? I recorded to like half inch tape, like onto I think it was a 16-track recorder. It might have been 8-track. I did one song called The Ballad of, well, technically two, but really it was just one song, The Ballad of Johnny Keane. I recorded to half-inch tape. Crosby, Stills, and Nash. I'm gonna go without Neil Young. Favorite artist off the Daptone? Aren't they all dying? It's so sad. I mean, Sharon Jones is fantastic. Check out my music. Okay, Josh Lasota. You know what's funny? I don't even remember flipping this record over. I was lost in my conversation. That's pretty sad. Or it's just something I do all the time, and it's just kind of funny. No way, Kane! Your granddad owns the original Abbey Road from 1969 on vinyl. That's awesome. You want to hold my hand? Are you still making masturbation jokes? Coldplay is bad. Radiohead. Oh, that's funny. That's funny. Because it's true. Oh, have you ever thought about including an 8-track player on the set? I used to own one, and I had one episode of Awesome Finds where I showed off an 8-track player. They're just so, what's the word? You know, they have the receivers that have one built in. You know, maybe if I ever come across a better receiver that has one in it built in, I would totally do that. But they always seem to have issues. But I think it's because the nature of 8 tracks. Kendrick Lamar over Danny Brown. I mean, Kendrick Lamar definitely. I like Danny Brown, but Kendrick Lamar just he's a little bit more my style. Nice, dude. You have, do you know what state their butcher covers in Nessie? Because there's different states. One had never had the paste over cover, and some that have been peeled. How old is that revolver? This one is from like 2015, I believe. This is a modern reissue. When they remastered, well, no, did they remaster them? They repressed all the mono records, and they put out a box set. I have the box set, so that's where it comes from. So it's not old. Do I know any... what is my oldest album I have? I'm trying to think. Do I have any olds? I have a couple of 78 albums. I have... because they're technically albums. That's where we get the name from. They were like multiple... 78 records in an album, like a photo album. So that's probably some of my oldest stuff. I have some swing era stuff. Do I listen to Cream? Absolutely. Let It Be over Rubber Soul. I'm gonna go with Rubber Soul. Will I review Magical Mystery Tour? That is high on my list. Oh, nice, Bill. I didn't realize you had a channel. Tech Throwback. Is that the name of your channel, Bill? I'll check it out. Or is that... Well, I'll check it out in a bit. Will you be doing any reviews on the Monkey albums anytime soon? I don't think I don't think so, Keith, because I don't get a lot of requests to do Monkeys albums, unfortunately. Oh, cool. Okay, Bill. Thanks, man. Think for Yourself is one of the most underrated Beatles songs. Should I watch Magical Mystery Tour? Yeah, I would. If you're a fan, you got to check it out. But just keep in mind, it was made for TV, and it's only an hour-long thing. Yes, I like parquet courts. Blah 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 blah. Do the Velvet Rug. I did bring it out. We got some other records ahead of it though. Fortunate Son is such a great Vietnam album. I agree, Kane. Really? I guess I'm thinking of the song. I guess I don't really know the album. Do I know Greta Van Fleet? I don't know them personally. But I know of the band, yes. You just got Revolver today. It's from this. Oh, cool, man. That's awesome. Oh, sweet. Thank you for Magically Retro. Thank you for doing... Oh, cool. You got a Spin Clean record review. You got a record haul video. That's awesome. I like your Walkman banner there. That's great. Oh, wait. No one important. Here's a thinker. An artist makes a career off singing about hardships of regular working class folks and how they'll never make it out or make it big, and then the songs resonate with that and they make it big. So now they suddenly aren't a part of those hardworking people, and those people stop listening. It's a bit of a catch-22, isn't it? I suppose. I I mean, I feel like a lot of country, today's modern country, is like that. It's singing about what honest, what hardworking farmers and whatnot, what people, they resonate to, or young people that are into like who listen to country music. I feel like it's sort of, country music is about itself. It's about the culture of country music, and I feel like people, I don't know if they necessarily stop listening to it. It's more like they need that as an escapism, or they identify with it. It's like they're. I think it can be both. Like Bruce Springsteen is a classic example. He got so popular, especially with Born to Run, because it was such like an anthem for people who were feeling hurt by the economy and just feeling, it was very much like pro-America, but pro like working class, and just it made people feel good, and I think that really propelled his work, and I think he genuinely believed that. But yeah, I don't know if people, I think that happens more so like in subgenres, like say like maybe punk and other things like that, like maybe hardcore, or I don't know, like emo, I think was like that. So I think it has more to do with a band that starts off in a subgenre and is really, they cater to that subgenre, and then they, quote unquote, sell out, get popular. I think that's when people get turned off. Do I have any ideas for bringing? Do I have any plans for bringing new ideas to the channel? I'd like to know what you think, Mike. But what I am doing is I'm kind of shifting some of my content towards like thought pieces and video essays and like mini bios, because I'm finding a lot of success with that. And I'll be honest, I want the channel to grow, and I'm gonna kind of gravitate put my focus of my attention to those things. So I'll still keep doing the stuff I do, but I'm going to diversifying more of my content into kind of more like of those things, like history pieces, bio pieces, thought pieces. You'll see coming up next week what I mean by that. I have a short video, but I think it's kind of cool. It's definitely reflective of how I think and how I view music and how I relate, my relationship with music and how I think about it. And that's kind of more what I'm doing, and also with album reviews, I'm kind of like, I continue to deconstruct them in a way to where I used to put a lot of information in a video, and I think it got lost on people, or new viewers would kind of get turned off by how long the video was. And I found I used to put like the making of within the album review, but I feel that people, they want to watch a review. If they want to watch a making of, they'll watch a making of. They don't want to watch both necessarily. I think that's the fickleness of YouTube. So I found really surprising success by breaking off my making of current as a separate video from my review. So that was inspiring to me, and like what I want to do is like a vinyl buying guide, because at the end of the review I talk about which versions you should look for if you're picking a copy up on vinyl, and I think that could actually be a better video on its own. So stuff like that, just kind of breaking apart the album review and also doing more thought pieces. I have a lot in the works. I don't want to let the cat out of the bag just yet, but I have another one coming up on the Beatles, and I think it's going to be really interesting because it's something that has been written about but hasn't really had a video on it. So I think you guys are really going to dig it. Ooh, Stratocaster versus a Les Paul guitar. I'm going to go with a Les Paul, man. My mom met a guy who sold a first pressing of The Wall for only $20. Oh, that's amazing, Austin. You have a first pressing of The Wall. That's fantastic. Hey Bulldog is the best song on the worst Beatles album, Yellow Submarine. That's hilarious. Oh, time to switch the record out. And we're going to flash forward to a record, a new record actually. If I can get this sleeve back on this record here. And that would be Beach House, and that was recommended by Zach Charger 06. And this is the record. Let's make sure there's not a glare. And this is the loser edition because I'm so cool. I got it on yellow vinyl. And I gotta tell you, man, sitting below your record player is kind of hard to put the record on the spindle. So if you guys can give me 5 minutes, I'm gonna grab some more water and also do a little business, but I'll leave you with the music real quick. Okay, what'd I miss? What'd I miss? Alright, just the first song. That's alright. Got some more water. Cause man, I'll tell you. I'll probably put the mic back on so you guys can actually hear me. Alright, where are we here? Cool. Whoa, okay, I missed a lot of comments here. You know, Kyle, that's a great question. Between Black Keys and White Stripes, when both those bands got real popular, I was in a time in my life where I really wasn't listening to a lot of music, which sounds strange. So like, I can't fairly answer that question without really going through both bands' discography. But yeah, I know that sounds like a politician answer, but that's how it is. Oh, Rat-a-tat-tat. I think I'm saying her name right. They're fantastic. Which is a good way to listen to records, in mono or stereo? That's a great question, Keith. I look at it this way. Listen to how the artist intended it, just like you would watch a film like the director intended. You know what I mean? It's the same thing. Like I would say up to the White Album, you should listen to the Beatles in mono. The White Album in mono is an interesting thing, but by the time they started recording that, they were playing around with stereo. You know, early Stones records, I think it's better to listen to them in mono, because some people go as far as to get a mono needle, which I've never tried that, and I don't know if it makes that much of a difference, but like people who have a lot of money, not me, have multiple tone arms on a turntable, and they have like a mono cartridge setup and like a stereo needle. It's crazy, man. What would be your dream band? For me, it would be Kate Bush on vocals, Jimi Hendrix on guitar, Keith Moon on drums, and John Entwistle on bass. Oh man, that's a cool idea. I would have to put like Prince, David Bowie, Flea, Prince, David Bowie, Flea, and Dave Grohl. So you guys can figure out who's going to play what instruments. Well, obviously Flea's going to play bass, but I would love like Prince on guitar, vocals, keyboards, Dave Grohl on drums, vocals. David Bowie, I guess, yeah, he plays guitar, but really just a vocalist, you know? Man, that would have been, and Freddie Mercury. Gotta have Freddie Mercury in there. And maybe some Brian, well, I don't know, I don't want too much Queen in there. That's a fun question, and it's sad because you realize a lot of these people are dead. Like, I still get sad over David Bowie and Prince. It still bums me out. Oh, okay. No one important. Is reviewing technically making a living off of someone else's hard work? A musician friend of mine told me that. I don't think so, but he listened to reaction channels on YouTube. I mean, I think a lot of critics, I mean, myself included, I mean, I don't really consider myself a hardcore critic. I'm not. But I think a lot of critics wish they could play music or make films. They know a lot about it. Not myself included, but they know a lot about what they're critiquing, and so yeah, I mean, I think they play a valuable role in shaping opinion, and I don't think it's making a living off of someone else's back. I mean, I think that to me, you're providing a service, you're helping to guide people, and critics and reviewers can also help promote you. If anything, I would say the way record labels operate or used to operate, that's more making money off the back of someone else. Yeah, they help with distribution, but like they own the recordings and they own all your hard work. So I'd say that's more the problem. Oh, thank you, Scott. Yeah, unboxings are fun to do. I just I just haven't been buying a lot of stuff. Yes, John Lennon's death annoys me too, Nessie. I wish There's another universe out there where the Beatles got back together. I'm convinced of that. I know I haven't streamed in a while. I've been busy making content, writing and editing. Man, I thought I was gonna have to go away for a while, but I'm not. So, does anyone know what happened to the stereo conversion of "She Loves You"? I don't. All the people that are Les Paul players become Strat players. You know what, David? I would say, you know, the Strat is cool. No denying that. I actually really like the Telecaster. I love the sound of that guitar. We all live in a yellow submarine, a yellow submarine, a yellow submarine. Imagine the hair John Lennon would have had in the 80s. It would have been fantastic. He probably would have done dreadlocks. I bet you he would have gone down to Jamaica, did a bunch of stuff with Jimmy Cliff and all those guys. Yeah, absolutely. George Harrison could have done a lot more too. Yeah, Bernardo, that's a very interesting perspective. Like, how much breaking down something is too much? Like, how much do you deconstruct it before it's not interesting or fun to listen to? That's the kind of review I don't like to do. I don't like to like tear apart something to see how it works. I think a little bit's cool and it helps to appreciate a song, but if you just get down into like individual notes, it ruins it for me. So I agree with you. Les Paul is a jazz guitar. Yeah, you're right. I think it is. Ever heard of Linkin Park? Yes, I have. How do you do an album request? Or how do you request albums? The best way for you to request albums is you can leave a comment. Now that YouTube actually saves the live chat, you can actually put it in the live chat and I'll go back and input it. You can also send me an email too. TJ, who are you talking about? Are you talking about Prince was remastering or George Harrison? If you're interested in knowing what could have been if the Beatles never broke up or got back together, then look up Everyday Chemistry. It's a really fascinating. Cool. Okay. Yeah. I will, Everyday Chemistry. That sounds cool. Maybe I'm getting that. Maybe you guys can help me out. Is that like a band or is that like a movie? What is that? Everyday Chemistry. What do I think that if John Lennon had lived, he might have dabbled in rap, but only with someone of substance like Public Enemy? I think that's a great theory, Curtis. I believe he would have. I think he would have collaborated, especially, you know, once rock and rap started to kind of converge a little bit. Like we had Aerosmith, Run DMC, that sort of stuff. But I could definitely see him going more the serious route. I think he would have really enjoyed it. You know, he probably could have heard some of it. I mean, he was in New York, right? In the 70s. That's kind of where hip hop began. I'm sure he caught wind of some of it. He was a cool guy. Do you know what Sun City is by Artists United Against the Part? Oh, I don't know that, but I remember that being a big deal. What do I think of the Paul is dead rumor? I think it's fascinating. I want to do a video on it. I think I really want to do a video on it for my own benefit. I mean, I really don't know much about it other than it was a thing. Okay, it's an album. MC McCartney, oh my gosh. Charles, you're killing me with these dad jokes. Okay, it's a remix of songs and stories that ended up... Oh, okay. Interesting. I guess I gotta find it on YouTube then. What is my opinion on 21 Pilots? They're not my thing, man. They're like... I mean, they're popular, right? Magical Mystery Tour song? Penny Lane is on there, right? I think that might be on my favorite song off of that. Well, there was a good question here. Do I think Giles Martin might change the White Album too much from the original? I don't think so. I don't think... Pardon me while I pour some water. I don't think Apple would let him do that, or McCartney would. I mean, whoever owns it, I don't think they'd let him change it that much. Since there's two Beatles still alive, I don't think they'd let him do. I mean, I don't know, what can he really do to it? I'm really curious to know. Like, Sgt. Pepper's made sense, but I don't know, man. It just feels like another way to sell us the White Album. You can overanalyze Fender musical instruments and still not figure out why they are great. And that's true. Who is the best Beatle? No. To me, that's like... I don't think there is a best Beatle. It's just like... It's like, who's your favorite Ninja Turtle? It's more like, who's your favorite? Do I prefer the US albums or the UK versions? You know, I'm starting to warm up more to the UK versions, definitely. Do I think Katu sounded like the Beatles? I don't know. How old am I? I am 36. Oh man, I don't feel 36. Oh, cool. Yeah, glad you'd love to see that, Cyrus. What do you think of Tranquility Base Hotel Casino is really about? I think it's some kind of dead David Bowie fantasy story. That's a great theory. I don't really know what it's about. Yeah, I mean, he could have like been channeling some Bowie. Yeah, really, Charles? Like, how many times we got to remaster this White Album? That's a cool dream band, James. Do I think Not Guilty should have been on the White Album? I don't know, man. I don't think so, but only because I know the White Album as it is so well. Oh, that's cool, Kyle. Your mom started a store called Penny Lane. Fleetwood Mac's best album is English Rose, except no green. Do I own English Rose? I think I might. What time is it in the US? It is, that's a good question. It's 2 o'clock where I'm at. Brian May or Jimi Hendrix? Ooh. I'm gonna go with Hendrix. Sandy, I am a huge fan of Brian Jones now. Absolutely, after I made that video. Jimmy Page or Robert Johnson are the best. Huh. Would the White Album be different with the single version? Oh, absolutely. With the single version of Revolution, totally throws the whole thing for a loop there. Do I like the Groundhogs? I don't know them. Blah 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 blah. Shadow dancing. You know, Chi-Chi. I am gonna check that out. It's on my list now. Thank you for suggesting it. Do you think Revolution 9 is a bit? Do you think Revolution 9 to a bit shorter? Do I think it should be shorter? Absolutely. Well, I think it should have been released on its own. I don't think it should have been on the album, I guess. Oh, well, thank you, OP878. Oh, you know what? I have other. I'm gonna put on Queen next. I already asked people, and I kind of went and first come first serve. So no Sergeant Pepper this time around. The piano that Paul McCartney used for Hey Jude is the exact same one used for Bohemian Rhapsody. Oh, I've heard that. I think that's really cool. The White Album wouldn't be much different if it had one more songs because it's already so diverse. Yeah, that's true. Yep, no Jones, no Stones. Yeah, actually, Queen. I do have Queen 2. They always had such funny album. The way the album opens is so funny. I guess it goes that way. It's a gatefold, but yeah, Queen 2. That's coming up next. It's been a while since I heard it, so I'm excited to check it out again. Shit. Oh yeah, I just picked up The Wind and Withering. I really enjoyed it. Yeah, unfortunately, like what you said, Glue Eater, Brian Jones, I think the drugs took over. And I don't, like I said in the video, I really think he didn't get the help he needed. And also, it was a time when mental health. I mean, we're still dealing with mental health and it being more accepted, but I just think it's just sad. It's just self-destructive, unfortunately. Have I listened to Justice's Cross album? No, actually. I knew some of the songs, but I never actually checked out the album. Right now, Liam, we are listening to Beach House 7. This is their latest album. Do I think Wild Honey Pie should have been a single? I think it could have been a single. Yeah, definitely. But at that time, they didn't need to do singles. Like, for whatever reason. They didn't actually put any singles out. Well, they put out Revolution and, what was it, Hey Jude? Yeah, they put out that as a single, but I think, yeah, there was something. Yeah, the White Album didn't have any singles to support it, at least, yeah, in the U.S. Oh, thank you, Punk Texas. Wait, Honey Pie or Wild Honey Pie? Now I'm confused. Honey Pie is that ragtime number, right? Do I think Brian Jones was murdered? I don't think so. Am I still listening to Proto Martyr? I should get back into them. I kind of fell off. Paul's Boutique by Beastie Boys? I love that album. It's fantastic. You reminded me I should revisit Proto. If I can spell it right. There we go. So they put out. Is that the Relatives and Descent? Is that considered an EP? Maybe it is. No, that looks like an album. Oh no, there it is. Consolidation. Got it. It says EP in the title. Good job, Eric. All right. What do I think of the? Yeah, Sexy Sadie could have been a great single. Let's catch up here. Stop. Would the Beatles still be revolutionary today if they debuted in the 2010s? I mean, I suppose someone else would have taken their spot, right? I mean, they influenced so many bands. So I don't really know how. I don't think so. I don't think they would have. Birthday should have been a single in the UK. Why England? Why? Maybe that's not for me. Any more ELO reviews in the future? I really want to go over blah 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 blah. The blue. What is it? The one with the spaceship. They all have spaceships on there. Out of the Blue. I really want to do Out of the Blue. So yeah. So someone else just asked me about my sound system. Yeah. So like this is a Yamaha CR620. I picked this up at a garage sale for $20. It's pretty good. It could use a tune-up. The left-right balance knob is a little corroded, so sometimes one or both of the channels will go out. It's kind of infrequent. This is a Fluence RT81. It's a brand new turntable. It retails for like $350 or something. These are, you can't really see them. I guess you can kind of see them. These are Sansui speakers. These are vintage. I got these from a garage sale probably for $20. I can't really remember. I think though they're a little blown. I could probably get them reconed, but I just haven't. And that's pretty much it. The cartridge is a, what is it? I'm blanking on the name right now. An AT91E, I think is what it is. It's like your basic Audio-Technica cartridge. It's a kind of a, it's a workhorse. But I'm starting to learn more about setups, actually. I befriended a really nice audio store, so hopefully I can learn a lot from them. Oh, cool. So this is A&I's collection, Queen, Greatest Hits, Run the Jewels 3, Pink Floyd, Dark Side, Lamar's, Damn, and to Pump a Butterfly, Guardians of the Galaxy soundtrack, Gorillaz, Now and Humans. Yeah, I mean, I think that's a good start, man. You do what you love there. I definitely listen to Mac DeMarco. I haven't really checked out Wolf Alice much. I keep trying to get into her, but oh man. Thank you, Jason, for your comment on my Making of Currents video. I really appreciate that. You know what? Moisturizing helps keep the face looking young. I'll tell you that. And also a little bit of makeup never hurts. I have really dark circles naturally under my eyes. It makes me look like a serial killer, so I put a little bit of cover up there and a little bit of powder. But man, that's all you need. A little bit of powder really goes a long way. Graham, what critically acclaimed band or act can I not get into no matter how hard I try? I haven't run into that quite yet. I think it's messed up if Article 13 got approved in the EU. We'll see how they'll enforce it. I think it's the wrong direction. I understand there is some good intention behind it, but you have to understand transmedia and fair use. And I think Article 13 does not account for either of those. And I think more importantly, transmedia is, Article 13 is the old way of thinking, and it's counterproductive for fandom of your content, in my opinion. Yes, I think content providers, creators should be compensated, but I think you have to allow for public ownership and people to make new things out of your media. I think that's totally acceptable. And I just love funny GIFs. I love Dazed and Confused. I don't own the soundtrack. I would love to. Velvet Underground is a band you couldn't get into. Really? I really like Lou Reed, so it's hard for me to not like it. Do you think that Magical Mystery Tour should have been a double album? Yes. I think Sgt. Pepper should have been a double album with Magical Mystery Tour. The Beatles or Shrek? The Beatles, man. Most overrated albums for me, it's Led Zeppelin 2, Some Girls. I don't know, man. I don't think in those terms. Yeah, I have a hard time coming up with that. Yeah, I agree with you on that, Cyrus. I can't get into 21 Pilots either. I know, ANI. Article 13, even though it's just the EU, it's going to affect everybody. Yeah, well, Jose, try Transformer by Lou Reed. And then I would try like Loaded or one of the other albums, like White Light, White Heat by the Velvet Underground. Who else is down for starting a hardcore band called Article 13? That's hilarious. Badfinger versus Big Star. I'm gonna go with Big Star. Favorite Bob Dylan album, 60s era, I would go with the Freewheeling Bob Dylan. Well, no. Highway 61. One of those. Is Blonde on Blonde? Oh, that's another hard one too. What band do you like that no one else seems to like? I don't know. Like, unfortunately, most of my friends don't listen to a lot of new music. Like, I shouldn't say that, but I would say Death Grips. Do I like the Prince Batman album? Absolutely. Do I own any Clash albums? Yeah, I own Sandinista, the Stock Market EP one, the London Calling. I think that's it. I haven't listened to the revisit of Twin Fantasy yet. That's all right, James. Dark Side of the Moon's not for everybody. I think it's a great album though. Sorry, okay. I own some CDs. I just don't actively buy them. Oh, Annie. Like, wait, Annie? Gotcha. Sorry, buddy. Annie Gamer? Is it like anti but no T? Have I got a 78? I got a lot of 78s. I got a Victrola too. What's my favorite Beatles album? It's kind of the White Album for now. Jay Dilla or Mad Lib? Unfortunately, I'm not as familiar with Mad Lib, but I love Jay Dilla. I like Back in the USSR more than Birthday. Did I ever listen to the Wiggles? No. Do I like alternative music? Yeah, I grew up in that time. Overrated is Brothers in Arms by Dire Straits. Really? I guess it wasn't really hyped up for me. I really enjoyed that album. What's my favorite Beatles album cover? Are you talking about like the cover of the album or like a... I guess that would make more sense. I like, well, Yellow Submarine. I like Sgt. Pepper. Or Abbey Road. Cyrus, I do plan on doing a review of Dookie. Do I have any gramophone or gramophone? I don't have a gramophone. I do like Tom Tom Club. Do I like A Hard Day's Night, the movie, not the soundtrack? I like the film a lot. It's really great. I prefer original pressings and pressing and reissues that were pressed before digital came into the picture. So like, I'm fine with like a late 70s pressing of a Beatles album. No big deal. Although in the 70s, a lot of stuff was on really thin vinyl. Where I have issues is like labels like Friday Music that really have no concern, and they're just reissuing vinyl because they can. Like, you really don't need a 180 gram version of Like a Virgin by Madonna, in my opinion. Should there be a Beatles biopic? It could be interesting. I think with something like that, you're gonna piss off a lot of people, no matter what you do. I'm not really excited for the Queen biopic, to be honest. I mean, I don't know. I mean, to me, Freddie Mercury is a legend now, and I don't know, the Beatles are like in that same status, and I wouldn't mind seeing it. I just think it would be really hard to do it right. I've never seen the Linda McCartney Story. Todd Rundgren, I don't really listen to him. But I like his tiki bar. He has a tiki bar that he and his wife opened called Tiki and Niki on the island of Kauai. Really? I didn't realize Friday Music does put out Bowie records. Huh. But how do they sound? Like, I mean, I guess they're okay. Wait, how do I feel about a Beatles sequel band where all their sons... Oh, that would be cool. That would be cool. Will I ever review Animals by Pink Floyd? It really depends on if enough people vote for it. But I'm gonna cover The Wall beforehand anyway. I don't, the Kinks are a weird band for me. Like, I know their early stuff, but like they kept recording into the 80s and I think even the 90s, and I don't understand them. Yeah, absolutely, Kennedy. I really like a lot of 50s music, a lot of rockabilly, a lot of jump blues, a lot of doo-wop, a lot of the early soul records from the 50s. 40s wise, I like, well, even in the 50s, there was a lot of great swing bands, big band stuff. From the 40s, I like, it was hard because like we had World War II take up a lot of it, but like, I like a lot of the swing era stuff from that time period. And then when you get beyond that, like Boogie Woogie's okay. But then the 20s, not so much. It's a little too. There's a time and a place that I enjoy listening to that music, and it's not often. But I would love to get my Victrola working and play some of those old 78s on that. Of course you can request Young Americans by David Bowie. That's a great album. Fleetwood Mac, my favorite album. If we're talking post Peter Green, I would say probably Rumors. But before that, I think English Rose might be their best. I keep trying to get into Oasis, and no offense, Nate, but most of my knowledge of Oasis comes from What's the Story, Morning Glory. But song-wise, it's not Wonderwall. It's one of the songs off of What's the Story, Morning Glory. It's I really like the one where he sings about starting a revolution from his bed, and then there's one where he plays the harmonica keyboard thing. I forget the name of that song. Oh, I don't know if I'll review anything by 1975. Yeah, I want to get more into Stone Roses for sure. I don't have a favorite Queen song from each album. What do I think of Block Party? I really enjoyed them when they first came out. I do have one Utopia record. I should re-listen to it. A Melodica. Thank you, Cole. Thank you so much. What song is that? Don't Look Back in Anger or Champagne Supernova? Yes, both those songs. For me, my favorite when that song was new was Champagne Supernova. I love Pete and Pete. Are you Aaron Burr, sir? I don't know. All right, last song for Beach House. I really enjoyed Downward Spiral. I'm not as familiar with The Fragile. Kate Bush is cool. She was like the first person to release an album with the Fairlight. Do I like The Damned? Absolutely. Do I have a favorite Beatles album? Yeah, it's the White Album. But if I like New Order or have a favorite album of them, I really like Low Life. I really like New Order. I own Technique, obviously, but I'm not as familiar with their album output. Like, in my mind, I love all their songs, but growing up, I never knew which songs came from which albums, so I can't answer that question very well yet. What records have I played the most in my collection? Probably like my Leonard Cohen record, my Weezer album, my Nirvana album, Weird Al a lot. Do I like the Strokes? Yeah, of course. Yeah, Broad Nation, I believe they added a lot of bass to the mix of the 2009 remaster, and the subsequent 2012 stereo pressings were based on that mix. Do I like Joy Division? Absolutely. Love Joy Division. Will I do a hair tutorial? Yeah, I want to do that. Will I ever do a video of my vinyl setup? Yeah, I can. It's just I have a record player in almost every room of the house. and I got these. But yeah, I could talk about these. It's just not that impressive, I don't think. You killed Paul McCartney, Kane? Yeah, I'm going to be doing more UK versus USA Beatles albums. I will do that, and I will also, yeah, I have that in the works. Wow. You got to see Peter Hook playing Joy Division and New Order stuff. That's cool. You should do an album debate versus Anthony Fantano. That would be fun. Yes, New Order's Age of Consent is an amazing song. Oh, really? 1975 are going more pop. That's too bad. Smile versus Pet Sounds. Ooh, that's fighting words. I don't know if that's fair, though. Are built-in preamps any good? Yeah, I mean, they're not ideal. But if that's all you got, use it. You know, when it comes to audiophile stuff, you can always spend more money, and maybe it might make a little bit of a difference. But yeah, I don't think there's. I use built-in preamps. Oh well, it just. It's one of those things, like eventually you'll want a dedicated preamp, probably maybe with tubes. I don't know. Just depends what your setup is. Nighttime's got to be the best time to listen to music. Makes me get hyper. Oh, it's awesome, Kennedy. I like driving at night to music. Oh, thank you, Jose. Thank you for subscribing, man. I appreciate that. Is that my true music room? That's a great question, Jay Nada. I come and hang out here when I'm not taping. I do listen to music in here, but my primary listening room is my office where I do my editing. I have my desk, my monitors, speakers, and then right here is my turntable, and then down here is a stack of vinyl. So I do a lot of listening there, but when I want to like hang out with friends, I come in here, hang out, make some drinks, have a good time. Sorry, my wife's just texted me. Hang on, guys. I know, it's very, very entertaining there, huh? Okay. Whoa, what? Why do I dislike the U-turn player? I dislike it because of the tone arm. I'm not a fan of the tone arm, and I don't like how to turn off the motor, you got to turn off the player, and certain systems it can cause an audible pop in your speakers, which really is annoying to me. I think there should be an on player, and then there should be an on switch, and then sorry, multitasking is not my strong suit. Like this Fluence has well, maybe it's the same thing actually. Yeah, I take that back. The thing I don't really like about the U-turn is the tone arm. I don't really like it. I don't like the head shell on it. Those are kind of my main concerns about it. I talk about it in the video. Oh, and the hinges. The hinges on there are awful for the dust cover. Okay, hang on, guys. I gotta switch this record out, and then I gotta read what my wife just wrote. So we're gonna put on Queen 2. As I fumble to get it out of the sleeve, let's see. Side black. What is the right side? Side white or side black? I guess I'll put on side white. But otherwise, I think the U-turn Orbit is a good beginner's turntable. She locked herself out where she works. She's waiting for someone to bring keys, but they're gonna be a while. That's what's going on, if you guys are curious. Who wrote that? Oh, I just lost. Someone said hi. Oh, I can't. That was cracking me up. Now I can't find it. Anyway. Oh, really? Brian May has one side, Mercury has the other, hence black and white. Oh no, you have to move? How should you transport your records? If you go to U-Haul, or I think Home Depot, they make like a 12 by 12 box that's really perfect for vinyl. And then I would keep that in your car, not in a moving van. You want to keep it where there's air conditioning. That's what I would do. I don't know how much vinyl you have though. In my experience, what are the hallmarks of a successful record store that I visited? I think a good used selection is always like well categorized sections are always really nice, and like a friendly staff. I think that goes a long way. Someone who's not pushy, someone who says like, hey, welcome to the store, thanks for coming in, if you have any questions let me know, and then leaves you alone. I think that's really cool. And if you want to talk shop, they're down to talk. I think that's really cool. But what I don't like is elitism or making you feel like you shouldn't be shopping here. You don't know what you're looking for. Like, I hate judginess. Like, you should, like, all music's great music, even if you think it's cheesy or stupid. You know, if it sells, it sells. Who cares, right? Like, a good example, if you guys ever seen the movie High Fidelity, the way they treat their customers, I don't think that's a successful record shop. But I would still want to shop there, though. You're very funny, David. Wife versus girlfriend. Yeah, I think everyone feels that if they were born in the wrong generation. Opinions on Cage the Elephant. I really like Cage the Elephant. Will I do blah 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 blah. What did High Fidelity do? What do you mean? Just watch the movie. John Cusack. It's a classic. Cyrus. Even though I did a UK versus USA review of Revolver versus Rubber Soul, do you think I could do a full-on review of those albums? You know what's funny is when I first started this show, I was so afraid of having an opinion, especially on Beatles stuff. And also I felt like I had nothing interesting to say about the Beatles. And so that was my way of talking about the Beatles, but also bringing something interesting to the table. And now I agree with you. I think I should still review those albums on their own. Oh, I love the Cars. Oh, Charles. Oh, I see what you're saying. You hate that mindset. Now I understand what you're saying. I hate that mindset of people saying they were born in the wrong generation. And now that you say it that way, yes, I understand. I feel like that's something that a young person says. I was born in the wrong generation. But as I used to kind of think that way, but as I got a little older, I agree with you that there is great music happening all the time. You just got to go out and find it. No, I have a regular job, meaning I have a job outside of this. I do freelance video and editing work. So I just kind of independent contractor. Companies hire me out. The Cars versus the Police. I'm gonna go with. I gotta send a kissy emoji to my wife here. Oh, this is so good. This is so good. Oh, so good. Sorry, the Cars versus the Police. What did I say? I don't even remember. Did I say the Cars or the Police? I think when I was younger, I think I loved the Cars more. But now, it might be the Police. Oh, thank you, Michael. I appreciate that. Opinion. Oh, man, I hate giving my opinion on Greta Van Fleet. Because I feel like it's so boring. It's basically, I think it's great what they're doing, and they're doing great for being so young, and they're great musicians. I just really want them to find their own voice and expand from the Led Zeppelin sound. That's all. Do I play? I honestly only really feel comfortable saying I play guitar. I used to be able to play trumpet, not anymore. I actually have David Bowie coming on next. I had a request list, so I wrote them down. This was requested by B-Side Records, The Black Queen, and Hendrix 2018 Pro. I don't know if you guys are watching, but thank you. Dusty Springfield versus Carly Simon. I'm gonna go Carly Simon. Ever listen to Cornelius? I don't think so. Yeah, I'm gonna definitely do a review of Magical Mystery Tour, as well as a bunch of other content relating to that. I don't know Secret Journey by the Police. I have to listen to it. Yeah, I think Revolution, well, I don't know if Revolution 1 would have done well as a single, though, to be honest. Do I like the Jackson 5? The Jacksons? Absolutely. I especially like the Jacksons. I do actually own a pressing of Twist and Shout, but isn't it pretty much the same as Introduce? Wait a minute. Twist and Shout is basically Meet the Beatles with a different cover and title, right? I could be wrong, but I think that's right. Will I do a top 10 favorite albums video? Probably. At some point I should, but it always changes, man. What happened to Alabama Shakes? You got me. I have no idea. Worst song on Rubber Soul? Drive My Car. I don't like that song. Are we all chilling? Yeah, we're all chilling. We're not sad, lonely guys. What do you think is the Beatles' masterpiece album? I don't know. I mean, some people would say Abbey Road. I might say the White Album, but I feel like it's probably Sgt. Pepper's, or maybe Revolver. Not Revolver. I haven't listened to Egypt Station, I don't think. Why? I can't spell today. There's a G before the Y. Egypt. Alright, I'm gonna listen to Egypt Station, but I'm not gonna say, I don't know if I'm gonna like it. Do I like Station to Station? Absolutely. Deep Purple versus CCR. I'm gonna go with Deep Purple. I'm not a big 21 Pilots fan. What's my favorite Queen album? I don't know, man. I'm starting to really like this one. Will you be doing more album-inspired cocktails? I will when I do reviews. They don't get a lot of views, and they don't really take a lot of time, but they're not my priority. I'll just say it that way. All right, good night, Kane. Give 2 listens to Egypt Station. All right. Have I ever listened to Led Zeppelin clone Kingdom Come? I have not. Iron Maiden versus Judas Priest. I'm going to go with Iron Maiden. Tom Waits? I like Tom Waits, the actor. I don't know. And I like some of his work. I just don't know if I like all of his stuff. Have I ever chatted with Anthony Fantano? I have not. I've never really talked to him. I will review Velvet. I will review their debut for sure. Do you think the song "Because" should have been an album all by itself? I'm not sure what you mean by that. Yes, I have heard of the Beatles and Stanley Kubrick wanting to do a Lord of the Rings thing. I think that would have been great. I wish that would have been made. That should be the movie. That should be the movie. Is the making of the Lord of the Rings starring the Beatles as the Hobbits. And it's just a completely fictitious what if thing, like a comedy. That would be hilarious. Oh my gosh, I would love to see that. And like all the things that go wrong with the shooting of it, and like Stanley Kubrick just being the weirdo that he was with the Beatles. Oh my gosh, that would be hilarious. Yeah, I got some of his earlier Tom Waits stuff. Do I own any Alice in Chains? I don't. Rush versus April Wine? I can't believe you just talked about April Wine. No, man, it's Rush all the way. They should have had Mick Jagger as Sauron. That would have been interesting. But Nielsen's got to be in there somewhere. Who would Nielsen be? Would he be one of the elves, like Elrond? Have you ever met Paul McCartney, Ringo Starr, or George? No. I've never met a Beatle. Yes, he would. He'd be retake everything under. He'd probably want to shoot everything by candlelight. Have you ever listened to Raw Power by the Stooges? I believe I own it. Can you answer the last question you asked? I'm not sure what you asked. I'm sorry. Some of these go by really quick. I'm not seeing it, Cyrus. Sorry, bud. Do I ever listen to any non-English speaking music? Yes, I do. Good bookshelf speakers. Well, I really like the Kanto speakers that I reviewed. I'm sure other people will chime in with their preferred bookshelf speakers. Neil Young as Gandalf. That would be hilarious. I like that. It wouldn't surprise me if Paul's voice is getting weaker. I can't answer that because I haven't really listened to his latest one yet. What is my first experience with vinyl? Yeah, I kind of talked about this on... I went on Too Many Records channel and I talked about that. But it was going through the family's record collection and pulling out Twisted Sister. There was this one album where he's eating a turkey leg and it just freaked me out. I remember that. I was probably like 3 years old at the time. Oh, Kennedy, I love Brian Jones, man. It's so tragic that he left us so soon. I mean, he left us so young. I go with David Lee Roth. Fresh 2018 recommendations. I really liked the latest by Beach House. Niels Fromm, I really liked his latest. The Voids. MGMT. Jack White's latest. Arctic Monkeys' latest was great. I know there's going to be more I'm missing. Kids See Ghosts by Kanye was really good. I like the new Death Grips. What else is there that is cool? The Pusha T album was decent. I like that. I haven't listened to much metal. If you guys could give me some recommendations of new metal, I'd definitely check that out. I have heard A Horse with No Name by America. Do I know Vinyl Geek? I don't. Can I do a quick house tour? No, my setup's not portable. The spirit of the 60s Lil lives in my room. Did you know that Lennon read James Joyce's Ulysses? I didn't know that. You should listen to Cavaret. It's an Israeli band. It's classic rock in Hebrew. Okay, I'll check that out. I think I might have heard them before. Wait. I just dang. Oh yeah, Unknown Mortal Orchestra their album was really good too. I can't find it now. I lost your comment. Oh, Cave. You know what? They're not popping up for me. That's kind of a bummer. I'll have to like do a little deeper search. I don't know John Deacon. And I don't know Showin' Knife. I don't know them. Still waiting for a 10 out of 10 record player review. Yeah, that will be. I have my eyes on the Project Classic. I think that would be a 10 out of 10 for me. You saw a video of John Lennon doing a Bob Dylan parody song, and it's hilarious. That's pretty cool. What do I think of Concrete and Gold by the Foo Fighters? You know, I don't think I listened to that one. I like early Foo Fighters, though. I haven't listened to Warhouse. Helter Skelter should have been a single for sure. Oh, that was their album from last year. Maybe I did listen to it. I like The Idiot by Iggy Pop. The Rarities UK or US? Isn't there only a couple of songs different between them? Oh, I love Boston. I love Boston more than Chicago. Yeah, Projects are great turntables. I'm not really a sports guy, but I'd watch a football game more before I'd watch a hockey game. Can you talk about how you listen to an album for the first time? Do you do something else while listening? Well, when I listen to albums for pick of the week, well, that's not the first time I listened to those albums, though. You know, I do tend to do other things while I listen to an album for the first time, which probably isn't fair to the album, but I do tend to like write or work on stuff. But I feel like I do tasks that are more conducive to multitasking, like kind of mundane, busy work. Like for my other job, I find I can really listen to music and just kind of zone out on the music and do the work I have to do. The Beach Boys versus the Beastie Boys. That's like apples and oranges, man. Yeah, I don't know. That's a hard question. Whoa, that's cool. I think I listened to Freehand by Gentle Giant. I listened to one of them. Whichever one has the face on it, that creepy face. Dang it, stop. I don't know. I don't know if I have. What do I think of 5.1 sound channeling? I don't own a 5.1 system. I think it's cool for movies. I don't think it's necessary for music, though. Any up-and-coming band you're super excited about? I don't... Not really. Which sounds terrible, but... yeah, probably not. I don't think I'm a great, what's the word? I don't know, I feel like that's more in a realm of a tastemaker, someone who's really on the cusp of up-and-coming artists. I find out about them late. I'm not the best for that. Yeah, I actually own one of the Beatles Live at the BBC albums. Raiders versus the Rams. I'm more of a Niners guy, to be honest. That's the football team I grew up with. What do you think about Harry Potter? I love Harry Potter. I love Harry Potter Land. I love Butterbeer. I love the Lego Harry Potter games. I should do a review of Year of the Snitch by Death Grips when it comes out on vinyl. I might. I think the Money Store has more interest from people, though, I will say. Captain Beefheart or Frank Zappa? I'm going to go with Frank Zappa. Dodgers over the Oakland A's. I'm going to go with the A's, which I know sounds terrible being an LA guy, but I grew up in the Bay Area, man. I love going to the Oakland A's games. If I had a choice, which Beatle would I date? I would date Ringo. He seems like the most fun. Like, how can you not have fun with Ringo? He's got such a gift of the gab. Foreigner versus Triumph. I'm going to go with Foreigner. What's your tour? What? Oh, maybe that's not for me. Have you ever heard of an old 70s show called The Goodies? No, I don't know that. Bow ties. Really? Ringo would be rude? Aw, man, I don't want Ringo to be rude. He seems like such a fun guy. I like neckties, but there are situations where bow ties are more appropriate, like a tux. I prefer speakers over headphones. Man, this is such a good album. I love that bass too. I don't play Minecraft. I do play Fire Emblem Heroes, though. I do play that. But I love Nintendo games in general. I'm really excited for Luigi's Mansion 3. When I saw the Nintendo Direct, I pretty much was screaming because I was so excited for that game. I love Luigi's Mansion. I don't know Pop Century. What do you mean that you went? What Disney trip did you like? What did you go to Disneyland or Disney World? Imagine the song Piggies played at a kid's school. That would be terrible. What's my favorite Pete and Pete character? I like Arnie, strongest man in the world. I actually was in a movie with him. I was a couple seats behind him. It's a movie called Rescue Dawn. I was an extra in it. And there's a scene in the very beginning of the film, and you can see me in the background. I'm one of the fighter pilots. Like Christian Bale's in it, and then the guy who played Arnie's in it as well. Do I like Mexican food? Absolutely, man. I love mole, chicken mole. I love all kinds of tacos. What else? I don't eat as many burritos. I'm not as much of it, but burritos is not even Mexican food. It was made in America. I like tortas a lot, Mexican sandwiches. I like quesadillas. Yeah, there's a lot of really good Mexican food around where I live. What's my favorite contemporary female singer-songwriter? I really like Shannon from Shannon and the Clams. She's fantastic. Oh, just got a text. Oh my gosh. You can give your cat soup now. Oh, you can give your cat. My wife and I have a little kitty cat, and we spoil her to death. But apparently, it's like cereal for your cat. My wife just sent me a picture. Oh, that's hilarious. I just lost the chat. My phone, come on. Gosh darn it. There we go. Where are we? Let's get back to the chat here. I like Thelonious Monk. Weetabix is just crunchy porridge. The Backwards Traveler, Cufflink by Wings, most underrated Wings song. I don't know, man. I'm not familiar with Wings as much. What's the worst record I bought? You know, I buy a lot of really crappy records, and I don't really remember them. I just posted about one called Homo Sapien. Terrible, terrible record. I don't know Joe Bonamassa, honestly. I'm sorry, Elliot. I know you asked that before. What should you do with the cutouts? Cyrus, if you want to cut them out, because there's probably 1 billion of those uncut in the world. Cut them out, man. Oh, that's awful. I did not know that. Thank you for telling me, because I won't stay at Pop Century then. I really want to go to Trader Sam's out there at the Polynesian Hotel. That's where I really want to go. Blah, blah. Did I pick up those Sundays Record Store Day out? No, I didn't. Yeah, that's the one she sent me, Little Soups. It saved your old cat's life? Really? Because it's easier to eat for an old cat? Oh, I can't go for the Yankees. If it's between the Red Sox and the Yankees, I'm gonna go with the Red Sox. Yes, the Beatles signed the official breakup at the Polynesian Hotel in Disney World, I believe. That's correct. That would be hilarious, Graham. A worldwide Sgt. Pepper's Day where we all wear the cutouts. I'd love that. I don't know the sheepdogs. We could all put on the paper mustaches. I love it. I love it. That sounds great. Dude, this is such a great album. That's amazing, isn't it? That should have been the cover. I mean, that's great too, but that should have maybe been the back cover. I love that. But you know what? That makes more sense because you got the black and then the white. Why is Rocky Raccoon your favorite song? Just because it's like a childhood favorite. It's nostalgia. Nostalgia always paints everything with rose-colored glasses. What do I think is the best band ever? Oh man, my favorite David Bowie. I don't have a David Bowie album favorite. Best, I mean, probably the Beatles. I mean, they kind of really set the ball rolling for rock bands. What do I think of the new Christopher Robin movie? I haven't seen it, man. How about a day where everyone stops what they're doing, flashes peace signs, and say peace and love? I think that would work for every country except where that means like fuck you. Hey, Carlos. How's the weather in Chicago, man? I would love to go there. I really want to go. There's a great tiki bar called 3 Dots and a Dash. It's in Chicago. I mean, besides all the great food that's there. Yes, yes, I have noticed that, Jay the Cyborg. There is a huge Mexican fandom for the Morrissey and the Smiths in LA, and I don't know why. It's crazy. Anything to start with? Yeah, I mean, raid the used bin at your local record shop. You know, classic rock's a great place to start. I mean, Beatles, Hendrix, The Doors, Janis Joplin, Love, Led Zeppelin. I mean, those are going to cost you some money, but they're fantastic albums. Paul's mustache is almost as weak as Ringo's solo career. That's hilarious. Do I think Day in the Life should have been a single? Absolutely. What are you gonna? Am I gonna review a Brian Jonestown Massacre album? I actually wouldn't mind. I've been very curious about that band for a long time. Are those suits, ties, and hairstyle everyday style? The hairstyle is a everyday style. Suits and ties, not so much because it is LA. It does get hot in here. Hot in here. It's not 50 Cent. It does get hot in LA. And it's just not practical. But I do enjoy dressing up, and I've owned all those suits before I started the channel, so it's definitely a part of who I am. That's a great point, Charles. You don't have to start with the classics, but I find that I would say buy your favorite albums. Start with your favorite albums on vinyl. That's a great way to start. If they happen to be classics, so be it. But if they happen to be like more modern music, go for that too. That's a great point. All right, what's the joke, Bro Nation? Is that how you say your name? Janis Joplin, she's just unabashed with her singing. I like Wes Anderson more. What do you think Yoko Ono and a spider have in common? And yes, what? The Rolling Beatles? What does that mean? They both live off of dead Beatles. Oh, that's hilarious. It's true though. Jay the Cyborg, Sweet and Tender Hooligans is a cover band for the Smiths. The lead singer is the Mex Morrissey. Oh wow. Sweet and Tender, really? That sounds like fun. I'm having a real issue with this. I'm gonna check out this band. Where they're gonna be in Long Beach tonight. They're gonna be in Long Beach. I could go. That's pretty cool. I'll follow them. I'll check them out maybe if they play somewhere closer. Hey, Nebraska is here. Welcome, Franco. You've been listening to a lot of Perfect Circle, Monkeys, and Duran Duran. That is quite the eclectic mix. I like that. Do I like Fleetwood Mac more as a blues band? Not necessarily. Do I think I'll be reviewing any Queens of the Stone Age albums? Not anytime soon, but definitely like clockwork. Do you think high-res audio will catch on like CDs did? I don't think so. I don't think people care. Audiophiles will care, but the general mass public, they don't care. Are you a t-shirt and jeans man? I am. I love my cuffed jeans. You know, when you're wrenching on a car, there's nothing better. Can a band sound too much like another band to be enjoyed, like Greta Van Fleet? Absolutely. I think so. But it really depends on how much you love the band that they sound like. Like, sometimes it can be annoying. Have I listened to the new Thrice album? No, I haven't. I will check it out. I like Brian Eno a lot. Yes, yes. Rolling Blackouts, Coastal Fever. I really like them. They're another Australian band, right? Someone recommends some get into blues. I am the worst person to ask because I'm only now kind of getting into blues. What do you think when my favorite albums are Alice in Chains, self-titled, and Facelift, and there are no pre-presses, and they each cost around $200? Yeah. Oh man, that sucks. That sucks. I feel you though. I don't know what to tell you. I mean, they'll probably get a reissue, but it feels like everything's getting a reissue now, even stuff that never had one. I mean, a vinyl reissue. Yeah, I was definitely into grunge when grunge was new, but I'm not actively listening to it. Is it really? Is grunge really still a living genre though? The channel is recorded in a converted garage that's detached from my house. So I would have to leave this room to go to the bathroom inside the house. And this is just like one big room. What was my first concert? It was a benefit concert, and Los Lobos played along with Santana. I think that was in 1989. Michael Jackson versus James Brown. I'm gonna go with Michael Jackson. I love James Brown, and he made some amazing singles, but he didn't really make great albums. And it's not a knock against him. He just came out in a time when albums really weren't. It was when singles were more important than albums, really. You already have some albums like Led Zeppelin, LA Woman, and Bob Seger. I would get into some 80s new wave. I would go that direction. A lot of that stuff's really cheap. And I also get into bands like the Smiths and the Cure, stuff like that. I'd get into David Bowie for sure. What a career that guy had, huh? All right, that was a great album, huh? You know what? I have to use the restroom again. But, you know what? I have a choice right now. I'll let you guys decide. We have Black Star, David Bowie, or In the Wake of Poseidon by King Crimson. Which do you guys want to hear? And then that will be the last record for the stream because I got... it's already 3 o'clock, so I may not get through the whole album, so keep that in mind too. All right. We're getting, it looks like a neck and neck here. Oh, man. Let's see. It's hard to keep track. Crimson, 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 Bowie, 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 Crimson, Bowie, Bowie, Crimson. It's like neck and neck. All right, Groovy Lisa, take care. Yeah, I gotta flip a coin. I will flip this. This is the official. Let's see if you guys can even see it. I'll hold it up. This is, let's see. Official Vinyl Rewind 45 spacer. So King Crimson will be the Vinyl Rewind side, and David Bowie Black Star will be the black side. So here we go. Wait, that doesn't work because I can feel the difference. Never mind. Let's try something different. I don't have a. Oh, you know what? I know where a coin is. Hang on. Hang on. All right. Here we go. Found a quarter. Let's see. Heads will be King Crimson, and Bowie will be tails. Here we go. And it is heads. So that was King Crimson. All right. Thanks for being patient, everybody. Let's put this on. It's a little dusty. And all right. Yeah, flips a Bitcoin. That, I wouldn't mind doing that. I don't own any cryptocurrency. Probably not the cleanest copy, unfortunately, but I will set that there, and I will return in a minute. Ugh. Oh man, I drank a lot of water. I'll tell you that much. Whew. TMI. TMI. How's this sounding? What is this song called? I don't know. Let's find out. I can't even read this. It's so hard to read. Pictures of a City? That would be my guess. Do you ever feel like there's an infinite amount of classics, and even if you were to try to collect them, it seems like you wouldn't have enough time to listen to all of them? Oh man, yeah, it's depressing sometimes. You know, you can't watch all the. I mean, you can put together a list like Rolling Stone did with their 500 greatest albums of all time, but that's, what is that? How many minutes is that? Like the average album, say, is 35 minutes times 500. That's 17,500. Well, that's a lot of minutes. I can't do math, but it would be a lot of days worth of listening just to get through that list of the 500 greatest albums. And yeah, it's really depressing, man, to think about all the music I'm gonna not be able to hear. And it kind of makes you prioritize stuff. Like, I don't want to waste my time with crappy music. So that's what part of spurs my purging of my collection a little bit. I'm kind of trying to fine tune my collection. Oh yeah, it is a classic. Have I ever thought about doing a review of MC5 albums? I have not, but feel free to. I will definitely put it in my request list. What would be the best Johnny Cash album to start off with? I really like his the first, or Black and Blue. I think is his first Sun Records collection, and then the other one is the one that's yellow cover, also by Sun. I really like those, and then I really like his last stuff. The last stuff he ever put out was really, really good. How long does it take to align your cartridge? Do I align it with a cantilever? How close is close enough? All really great questions, and it's something that you learn by doing. Yeah, you can watch a video. I think really getting a cartridge protractor is inexpensive, and it's a good tool to have. And then because you have to align it on the head shell, and then you also have to you don't want it to twist too much this way or that way, and then you also have to, if you can, adjust the height of the tone arm as well as the tracking force, and the anti-skating is not as much of an issue, but there's a lot that goes into aligning your cartridge. I didn't mess with this one because it came from the factory that way, but it might be worth just to check it out. I might take it into the shop. I haven't listened. Did I listen to the new Idols yet? I'm losing my voice here. I think I did listen to the new Idols. Let me see. No, I did not. I will add that. Thank you for the suggestion. Will I do a review of Nirvana's In Utero? Yes, I will. Do you hear digital? Do I listen to digital streaming service? Oh yeah, I use Spotify half the time I listen to music. I'm listening to streaming or vinyl. And streaming's been a great tool for education and for playback, especially when I'm doing a review. It's just so much more convenient than constantly putting a needle back. Do I think the sitar is an underrated instrument? Yeah, in Western music for sure. All right, Cyrus, take care, man. How is my singing voice? It's not great. I mean, it's not where I would want it to be. You're right, Charles. I agree that, yeah, this Beatles album is amazing, and that's why I kind of like talking about like kind of like little history pieces about the Beatles. But you know what? The fact is, people still watch those videos and they get a lot of views. So I'll probably still make a review, but maybe I'll try to do more my interpretation of it and less like a review, but more like what I think of the album. Review the Cults Love album. I think I love the Cults. Here we go. Let's see. Offering. Maybe you mean offering. I don't know. You can clarify me. Thank you, Kennedy. Yeah, I should do more live chats. It's just it got really busy on my end. Any chance to review of Dr. John Cooper Clarke? Huh. I don't know, Dr. John Cooper Clarke. My wife, she does collect vinyl, and I've been building her collection. She has her own collection. It's about 80 pieces, and she really likes having them. She just she's been very busy and just hasn't had the time to really enjoy them, but that's one of her goals, is to kind of cut down on work and just do art and listen to music on vinyl. So I'm gonna keep buying her records. She loves Billy Joel, she loves Prince, she loves David Bowie, she loves Paula Abdul, Janet Jackson, Vanity, She and Him. She likes that kind of stuff. Is there a big difference between streaming and vinyl if someone is not a geek? There is. Most streaming is compressed, and it's not the best compression or sound quality. However, most people are listening to it on a phone. So those aren't great speakers, let's be honest. So really, when streaming comes into factor, is on a higher end system where you can really hear like nuance and clarity and stuff. My thing with streaming is like sometimes internet goes out, so it's always good to have another way of listening to your favorite music. You don't have to have all the music in the world, but it's there is a difference. Are you a fan of the Stranglers? You know, I gotta re-listen to them because I don't think I am. Wait, there they are. Ah, I gotta look at their albums real quick. Oh no, I do like them. I just picked up one of their albums, and I'm trying to remember what it was. Dreamtime? It might have been that, or it might have... Yeah, I think it was Dreamtime. That's an album I picked up recently, and I did like them. And I might have like a 12-inch single by them as well. I didn't realize they... Wow, they've made a lot of albums. Crazy. The only song I like from the Strangers... Golden Brown, which whenever I hear it makes me feel like I'm in the woods. Everything. Oh, that's cool, Kennedy. I'll check that out. Dr. John Cooper Clarke is a punk poet. Been around since the Sex Pistols. Still, well, cool. Yeah, I'll have to check him out. He didn't know he had a PhD. Wow, he also lived with most of the Velvet Underground in the 70s. The White Album or the Black Album? Which Black Album are we referring to, though? Marshall Amps or Mesa Boogie Dual Rectifier? I would go with Marshall amps because of their iconic look, but I think as a brand, I don't know. They've been kind of watered down as of late. I feel like Mesa Boogie is still what it always was. Strangle, strangled, strangler, stranglers. Okay, I guess I said it wrong. I don't know. Do you think that there will be another universal jump in media, like 4K video, 3D, 360 video, or 5.1 high res? Or do you think the industry will stay at the 1030? That's a good question. I mean, of course there's going to be a jump. I mean, we already have, what, 4K? In terms of music, though, I think music, we're going to stay at stereo. I think, like, who was it? Was it Roger Waters who has, like, that really cool surround sound for his concerts? You know, that's always really cool, but I think for most people, stereo, we have 2 ears. It just makes sense. In terms of video, I feel like film will always be 24 frames per second. It has that look. We're so used to it. I mean, Peter Jackson tried to change the formula with Hobbit, and no one really cared. For whatever reason, video games, people like it at 60 frames. That might be a place where you might see 120 frames per second. I don't really know. But I think for media, I think most people, I think we might be hitting the limit with 4K. I don't know if people are really going to want to go for 8K, especially. I mean, how much detail do you need? You know, I guess, I don't know. We'll probably hit a wall at some point. Ever checked out The Boat That Rocked? Yes, I like that movie. You should review David Bowie's Diamond Dogs. Great album. What's your stance on Pink Floyd without LSD? I really like LSD. I really like Pink Floyd. Yeah, Jay the Cyborg. I recommend American Crew products. Although there is a new product, and I can't remember the name of it, but it's basically American Crew, but cheaper. They sell it at Target. It's got a skull on it. I recommend that. Nick, I think you might be thinking about the way a record is mastered. It has a certain EQ. Whereas CDs generally come out sort of flat sounding, but you can like mess, if you have a graphic equalizer, you can kind of match it. And also if you have like a tube preamp, you can run your CD, well, you wouldn't want to do that, but you could run it through like a tube, well, no, I don't think they make those. But I think it has to do more with how the CDs are mastered versus vinyl, because you can't really have real boomy bass notes on a record because it'll pop the needle off. Oh, cool, man. You bought some cassette tapes. That's awesome. Do I own any tapes? I have a suitcase. Well, not a suitcase. It looks like like a briefcase that's full of cassettes, but I used to listen to them a lot as a kid. I used to make mixtapes a lot, but I don't really mess around with cassettes much these days. Oh, this is In the Wake of Poseidon by King Crimson. Yes, Charles, I've been wanting to kind of dive into producers as well. I'm kind of fascinated right now by Quincy Jones because he's had such an amazing career. And also put out albums himself. Am I much of a gamer? Not really. Mostly because like I like Zelda a lot. I have a copy of Breath of the Wild, and I'm afraid to play it because I know I won't get anything else done for like a month. So I've been waiting for the right time to bust that out. I haven't heard the new McCartney album yet. Are there any episodes you wish you could remake? Like my own remake? My own episodes? Yeah, I'd love to go back and redo some of the Beatles stuff. The Sticky Fingers one. I would maybe more expand on them. Maybe would be a better thing. I don't know. Whoever disliked the stream will die. They probably checked in when I was gone and just saw an empty couch and left. My wife is home. Did I enjoy Who's live at Leeds? You know, I still haven't listened to it. I know. Yeah, Nancy, I mostly just play guitar. Oh, Kennedy, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to infer that you were a guy. I'm sorry about that. Well, any bands that you like the music but hate their politics and lifestyle? Probably. I'm just drawing a blank. The thing is, like, I try not to. Well, no, that's not true either. I guess I have a pretty good discipline of separating the music from the people who make it. So I try not to get too caught up in that. Advice on someone starting on guitar? If you can, pick up a classical guitar. They're easier to fret. But if you don't, that's all right. I would, or pick up an electric guitar. And then I would just, learn the, what is it, G, C, and D. I think that's a classic chord progression. I would learn those chords. Yeah, learn your chords, and then find a song you really like that sounds simple, and then learn that on guitar. Learn the chords. That's what I would do, or that's what I did do. I just started getting into books on music, so I don't have an answer for you yet. But I just bought the Beatles anthology. I know this is really, why is Father John Misty controversial? I really like the music. I don't really know much about Josh Tillman. I know he self-medicates with like peyote and other stuff, but yeah. That's cool, man, listening to Oh, really? Cake has a Facebook feed full of politics? Yeah, I don't think you should put that with the band. I think you, as like the singer of Cake, can put that on your Facebook page, but not on the Cake page. What's the first song I learned was Tom Dooley, because it's 2 chords. All right, this is the last side here. And the first song is that's the second song. Cat food, I love that. All right. Let's get that over there. Whew, I'm getting hungry. How about you guys? Father John Misty likes Nickelback? Yeah, that's a good point. It should be a simple song. Yeah, I guess that's a better clarification, yeah. When it comes to learning guitar, learn a song that's a couple of chords. You use a tube amp combined with an analog graphic equalizer for a CD player. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, Magically Retro. I actually want to do more dedicated vinyl buying guides to help people navigate the mini pressings of a particular album, especially something like Dark Side of the Moon, or what was your... Yeah. Just in general, or even like Sgt. Pepper's. Did I read the Julian Casablancas interview with Vulture? No, I did not. What's kind of the core of what he said there? Do you have any experience ripping CDs to FLAC? I don't have a lot of experience, but what I will say is like have a dedicated hard drive or RAID just to store all that music, because those are large files. Do you have hope for the future? Depends on the day. But, you know, talking with all of you and reading comments, I do. But then there's other days where you look at the news page and you're like, oh my goodness. Oh, thank you, Carlos. I appreciate that. Do I have SA CDs? Yeah, I have one. I have some because they came with my Satanic Majesty's request, but I don't actively buy them. Favorite ELO album might just be Out of the Blue. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, David. Yeah. I don't know if the chat room's the best way to go about it, but you know, tomorrow is a new day, and you know, I guess it depends like where in your life you're having hard times finding hope. I mean, that's there. I feel like making a difference in someone's life gives you hope. You know what I mean? Like, there's people who love you and people who you affect them without you even knowing. And I think that's something you can definitely take for the now, for hope. Oh, cool. You got your vinyl collection is Hard Day's Night, Magical Mystery Tour, The White Album, Abbey Road, Hey Jude, Mind Games, Cloud 9, The Ruddles, and Goat's Head Soup. That was an interesting collection there. Hey Eric, I like Ariel Pink. Do you like Elton John? What's your favorite album of his? I don't know if I have a favorite album of his, but I just picked up one of his album from like 1982 or 3. It's got a really good single on it. It's all about you can't knock. I don't know. I forget the name of it. Do I have a favorite Phil Collins album? No Jacket Required, maybe? What's the song playing right now? Is, oh man, I just read it. This has got to be Cat Food, I believe. Yeah. Oh yeah, XTC is amazing. Yeah, a 320K MP3 and a FLAC. If they come from the same source, it's gonna be hard to tell the difference. Do I buy records at shows? Yeah, I have. What's the worst pressing of all the records you own? I really don't like the 2012 stereo pressing of Sgt. Pepper's. Oh really? Cocaine Pop. I don't know that. Oh nice. You got 100 records. That's awesome. Oh, that's right. Skylarking was produced by Todd Rundgren. Nico is the most polarizing voice in the music history. Haha. That's awesome. Gotta do Yellow Brick Road. Oh, yeah, that is a great album. I forgot about that one. Oh man, I'm getting so hungry. Whew. Have ever? No, I haven't listened to folk punk. This is the second time it's been brought up. Mischief Brew. All right, now I'll check them out. Mischief Brew. Okay. I don't know that album by Julian Lennon. Maybe the what is that? Oyster Band? That was a long passage of quietness. You're going to compare Dark Side of the Moon original pressing to the 2016 remaster version. I'd love to see more pressing. You know who does that really well is Baraka P. Dub. He does these shootouts. He's really good at them. I don't have a lot of comparison albums to compare. I mean, I don't have like multiple copies of stuff. What do I think of Fleet Foxes? Fleet Foxes is really nice go to sleep music. It's not offensive. It sounds pretty. It's just, I don't know. It's okay. It's okay. It's not like I would have loved it 15 years ago. I just don't love it as much now. I should go eat food off of the 2012 pressing of Sgt. Pepper's. What's my favorite BO? I'm not sure what that is. Body Odor? Yeah. Favorite Alice Cooper song? I don't know. Oh, Early Yes is really cool, man. Nickelback should be in the Hall of Fame. Man, this is starting to build up in intensity. I don't know if I have a favorite Death Grips song. That's a good question. Yeah, the White Krong Gamer, the Revolver's really, White Album's very diverse. Favorite Van Halen. I really like Van Halen's first record, man. Favorite movie soundtrack? Conan the Barbarian. Favorite Talking Heads album? Speaking in Tongues? Is that? Yeah, there's that. Was it In Our Heads? No. I have a couple of their albums. I just don't know if I have a favorite. Have you ever put on your headphones backwards and listen to songs and think, the hell am I listening to? Yeah, I've done that. That's weird. Someone else had a good, oh yeah, Krong Gamer. Favorite Beatles album for now is White Album. Favorite Radiohead song? Creep. How about that? Actually, Creep was the first Radiohead song I was aware of. So to me, it's an important song, even though they don't like it. I like the Replacements. Footloose or Dirty Dancing? I would go with Dirty Dancing. Uncle. I like Uncle. It's been a while since I've really checked them out, but maybe now's a good time to do it. I mean, not now, but add them to my list so I remember. When we're live on the... Oh, here we go. Favorite Weezer song? Shoot, man. What's the last song? Not Holiday. Yeah, it might be Holiday. If I could go back in time and see any band or artist perform live, who would you pick? Oh, man. I don't know. There's just so many. I mean, I guess it would be very helpful for me to have seen the Beatles live. Maybe have been there for the Ed Sullivan show. That would have been really cool. But knowing what I know now, that would have been really neat. What is the name of the record I am playing? This is In the Wake of Poseidon by King Crimson. Beverly Hills? I kind of like that song by Weezer. Do I enjoy Ringo's solo work? You know, I haven't really given him a fair shake, honestly. Did I listen to Wide Awake by Parquet Courts? I don't know if I did. Oh, you know what? I haven't yet. Thank you for reminding me. I want to check that out. You should do Who Was Ronnie Wood. Okay. Craig, I will write that down, actually. I have a whole list. Let's see if I can pull it up. Wait, is it there? Yeah, I think it's here. Man, it's getting intense. Hey, were any of you into Mac Miller? I'm just curious. What do you think is the best Beatles compilation album? Don't know. Maybe the second best of album, I think it's the red one. Any favorite Bowie albums? Yeah, Diamond Dogs, Young Americans, Heroes. I mean, there's a lot of great ones. Fugees. I like the Fugees. Yeah, right? Isn't that weird? Like, moms knew about Mac Miller. I think because he was in the tabloids a lot. How Zeppelin stole great drumming and drum tone from everyone. I'm not familiar with that. Do I like the Stooges? Yes. I own Raw Power, yeah. I don't think you can ever own all the Beatles compilations. That's true if you start counting bootlegs. Have you ever done an overall record collection video? I have not, and I want to. I'm dying to. I'm kind of waiting on building out the rest of the vinyl pad. I don't know if I'll see it in theaters, the new Queen movie, but I'm definitely interested. Oh, okay. Sorry, it's hard to read if people are being sarcastic. We need a little like quotation thing. Okay. Wide Awake. Do I own any bootlegs? I have one bootleg of Hey Jude. Man, it's getting out there. Yeah, that's true. How many? There are a lot of Beatles compilations. Yeah, the Ramones would be cool too. You know, I just picked up the Dire Straits' second album. There's a lot of really cool songs on there that I can't remember the name of. I don't know if they're my favorites, but there's some great ones on there. Recently, a Beatles tribute band came to my town, and now a lot of my Spotify playlist is just Beatles songs. Well, that's cool, man. I love the fact that the Beatles are on Spotify. I think that's crazy. I never would have thought that would happen. Really? Phil Collins stole everything from Don Kirshner? I'm not familiar with Don. Who is Don Kirshner? Or Kirshner? I'm saying his name wrong, that's why. Huh. I really don't know who that is. I've ever listened to the Cult? Yeah. Boom. Sonic Temple. I love the Cult. Thoughts on disco? Oh boy. We're running out of time here. Disco is very much hit or miss for me. I think 75% of it is a little too cheesy for my taste, but there are some great ones. System of a Down, I don't actively listen to them, but I like them. Gorillaz, I like your song Stylo. Ever listened to Pixies? Yeah, I like the Pixies a lot. I should check out Dick Brave and the Backbeats. That sounds like a fun band. Yeah, I'm not finding them on, Oh, Dick Brave. Ah, stupid. That's a hilarious name. Alright, where are we at here? Making Movies, the third Dire Straits album. Alright, I think I might own it, actually. Oh, I heard that System of a Down are releasing all their albums on vinyl. That's great. Am I planning on doing a review on McCartney's new album? Maybe. I gotta listen to it first. Maybe. Because I know people are gonna watch it. It might, I don't know. We'll see. Oh, thanks. Yeah. Top 10 songs you didn't know were covers. Twist and Shout. Yeah, that's a good one. I did miss that one. Who did that originally? That's a good question. What's the next album review to come out is Pink Floyd's The Wall. I'm just starting it, and it might take me a while. Did I hear the new Lana Del Rey track? No, I have not. I will say that she's gotten better as she's gone along. When she first came out, I don't know. I think she's a lot better now. Oh, that is it. All right, everybody. I need to go eat some food and probably drink some more water. But I appreciate everyone hanging out. I had a great time, and I will definitely do more of these. I just, like I said, I got caught behind. Oh, man, come on, get in there. I got caught up in other work stuff, and I will definitely, I'll try to do more of these, maybe twice a month, at least once a month. But yeah, thanks for hanging out, and that is it for today. Take care, everybody. Have a great weekend. Oh, there we go. Have a great weekend, and listen to some great music. Go to your local record shop, pick up a new record, enjoy a new band. All right, take care.